He stares intently, his mouth slightly open in shock, asking what she said. He breathes a sigh of relief, sitting against the wall, clearly exhausted. He grips his head, wincing in pain, expressing how much his head hurts, feeling overwhelmed by discomfort. He notices a strange, rotting smell and questions how he ended up on the rooftop. He stands on the rooftop, puzzled and cautious, aware of the danger below. He wonders about the crowd downstairs, puzzled at the situation. He feels uneasy about the chaotic crowd, exclaiming that something isn't right. He exclaims in panic about the unsettling scene, questioning whether they are zombies. He screams in terror, urging everyone to keep their distance. He panics, exclaiming that he was just in the normal world moments before. He frantically searches for his phone, worried about needing to go online and see what happened. He recalls buying a bag of Lao Ba's peanuts earlier, promised to be exploding with flavor. He feels defeated, clutching the bag of Lao Ba's peanuts, wishing he could have a girlfriend before he passes away. She stands confidently, bandaged and wearing a revealing outfit, exuding an air of strength and mystery. She strides forward, showing confidence despite her torn outfit and injuries, a mix of strength and vulnerability. She walks forward, sensing someone watching her, feeling uneasy. Feeling terrified, he panicked, realizing the zombie was close. He thought he was dead and overwhelmed with fear. As she struck the wall with her weapon, water gushed out, creating a splashing noise. As water dripped down her body, he urged her to pull open the zipper, enhancing the tension in the air. He thought it was ridiculous that a zombie could be so sexy, feeling flustered as a blush crept onto his cheeks. He felt the cool water cascading down his face as a gentle hand wiped away tears, creating an intimate moment of connection. She sighed deeply, water droplets glistening on her face, conveying heavy emotions. He marveled, feeling overwhelmed and blushing, as he gazed at the breathtaking living human before him. He braced himself, feeling a sense of urgency as a loud knock echoed nearby. He fell back in surprise as she appeared, calling out, "Ha, hello?" He winced in pain, exclaiming, "Ouch," as he stumbled forward, his expression showing surprise and discomfort. He begged desperately for mercy, pleading, "Spare me, please. Don't kill me," as the gun clicked ominously in his face. She pointed her gun at him, demanding to know his identity, while he cowered before her, visibly shaken and sweating. He felt embarrassed, realizing the angle was unflattering, as water dripped down. The scene was charged with tension and awkwardness. Startled, she reacted to the chicken's declaration of enemies attacking outside, feeling the tension heighten in the moment. Startled by the chicken's response, he exclaimed disbelief at facing a formidable opponent, insisting he wouldn't retreat and demanded to initiate battle preparations immediately. Startled, she noticed the lightning striking nearby as she hesitated, her expression reflecting uncertainty. He called out, "Scum," just before a swift slap struck his cheek, surprising him with shock. He threatened to kill him, while his opponent begged for mercy as she held a gun, creating a tense standoff. As she caught sight of the looming shadow behind her, she let out a determined HMPH, while preparing for the impending confrontation. As the figure's menacing laughter echoed, it prepared to attack, filled with dark energy. As the giant skeletal figure slammed down, everyone reacted in shock, especially one who exclaimed, "Oh my." Meanwhile, chaos erupted around them. He shouted in frustration, demanding to know why he kept getting hit in a sensitive area. He gasped in shock as the monstrous figure towered over him, blood dripping from its skull-like face. She clicked her tongue in frustration, noting the mutated zombie's skull was too thick for bullets to penetrate. She recognized she's injured the zombie's eye, leaving it to swing blindly. The space was tight, making hiding difficult, and she feared luring more zombies in. She thought about the enormous upper body and injured leg of the zombie, realizing it moved slowly like a snail. He stared intently, focusing on the note about the waist saw, which was crucial for battling giant zombies. She braced herself, facing the towering giant with determination. He shouted a warning, eyes wide with urgency, dripping with sweat. She swung her weapon fiercely, while a massive, skeletal figure crashed down, its eerie red eyes glowing, sending debris flying in all directions. She examined the zombie cores, noting their quality, while he watched in surprise. She sighed in frustration, realizing her hard work was undone again. She questioned him about his weakness, asking which faction he belonged to, while he muttered and crouched down on the ground, ignoring her. He thought about the horror movies he had been watching, realizing he needed to escape reality. He grinned, enjoying the strong peanut flavor of his dream. She demanded to know who he was and how he possessed this precious elixir of life. Surprised, she realized he liked peanuts too. She insisted he answer her question about his faction and the precious food. He felt the sharp steel cut his skin, making the harsh truth clear. He pleaded with Miss Xiao to spare him, claiming he was just an ordinary guy named Qin Shuang. He boasted about his favorite snack from Wang Damazi's supermarket. He asked if she was okay, noting that she had been shot, while he crouched in fear on the ground. She wondered why the mutated zombies pursued her, sensing someone behind it all, while sweating and grimacing at her injured leg with swelling. He confidently claimed that she had skills to handle the zombies, while a friend praised the boss for orchestrating the plan effortlessly. He expressed concern to his boss, questioning what would happen if she, only injured in the leg, used her skills against them. He reassured his allies, stating that the first shot he fired was a corpse toxin bullet, which would quickly drain her life. He pointed at her leg, alarmed. She realized it was poisoned with corpse toxin. Despite her immunity to the regular zombie virus, she realized the new type K virus from corpse toxin is much worse. He insisted she wouldn't escape alive. She expressed fear, revealing the attackers were from the 17th faction. After the zombie core she just eliminated, capture would mean death for them both. He looked worried, asking what they should do next in their urgent situation. She expressed determination to hold off their pursuers while he escaped, and he questioned what would happen to her. She revealed her infection and pleaded for him to help her escape while insisting he owe her sister a favor. She expressed hope, mentioning penicillin, while he questioned its sufficiency for detoxification. She questioned the ease of obtaining penicillin, while he expressed surprise at its rarity. She planned to create a diversion by firing a shot, instructing them to exit through the rooftop door amidst the thick smoke. She insisted he must tell her sister where she is, reaching towards him with urgency. She urged him to hurry up and go, as he grunted under pressure. He felt torn, recalling how she saved him. He couldn't abandon her. Frustrated, he shouted, "Penicillin. Once I return to my world, isn't it something easily bought?" He asked, "Is a dimensional shift a way to return to my world?" A voice confirmed, "Yes." He urged her to hurry up and act despite the chaos surrounding them. He asked if he could come back after leaving, showing concern. He urgently demanded to return right away, expressing deep concern. He sat in bed, the air around him swirled lightly, as a sudden sound escaped him, "PFFFT." He shouted in frustration, questioning if anyone knew how to drive, while another complained about a blocked path amidst a crowded parking lot. He asked about the patient's legs, and the patient replied they were much better now, smiling as they walked through the hospital hallway. He yelled for penicillin while running through the hallway, urgency on his face. She leapt over the rubble, determined to find the gun amidst the chaos. She, teary-eyed, urged him to tell her sister about the handsome boy. He warned that the gunfire had ceased, and she could no longer hold on. He declared it was time to claim their rewards, exuding confidence as others watched. The doctor scolded him for running in the hallway while surprised by his urgent behavior. Numerous jars filled with various pills lined the countertop, indicating a busy pharmacy setting. She watched in shock as he shouted to wrap it up. She gasped in surprise as he yelled to run away. He shouted, "Dimensional shift," as his powers surged around him, creating a swirling energy. He poked her on the cheek, and she stared back, unamused, her cracked skin reflecting her discomfort. He questioned her, relieved that she was not dead, while she appeared serious and affected, her cracked skin still indicating her struggle. He shouted at her in disbelief, asking why she returned despite the danger. He urgently announced that he had brought the penicillin. He smiled and explained he just went to get the penicillin, while she, surprised, questioned how he managed to have it. He told her not to ask too many questions, revealing it was genuine penicillin as he prepared to pour it out. He vowed she wouldn't perish and insisted they would escape together, urging her to take the pill. She hesitated, her expression troubled as she clutched the pill tightly, uncertain about the choice ahead. She decided to take the pill, despite her hesitation, whispering, "Swallow this." With determination, she asked how he was feeling, her expression showing concern and sweat on her brow. She noted that the swelling had decreased and the toxins were fading, relief washing over her as she examined her injured leg. She expressed disbelief, amazed that the penicillin was already reducing the toxins. She turned, startled, her hair swaying as she noticed something unexpected. She warned him to hide quickly as she delivered a powerful kick, making him yelp in pain. He screamed, startled, as he suddenly fell into a pit, flailing his arms comically in panic. He felt a jolt as he crashed to the ground, exclaiming in surprise, "Ouch," while debris swirled around him. He groaned about his aching back, realizing how incredible the strength was. He reminded himself that a man's back is crucial. A loud clang echoes as he and others brace for impact. He urges the others to search for the girl, suggesting they can enjoy themselves while she's still alive. He smirks at the group, asking if they are looking for him. The atmosphere is tense as they gaze at him. She states she was going to find them and is surprised they approached her. He exclaims in disbelief, questioning how it's possible that she is still alive. He urges everyone to flee, while someone desperately cries for help, fearing for their life. He contemplates that he no longer needs to worry about her, standing there with uncertainty in a room filled with tension. He notices a book titled, "A Path to Growth," on the table, sparking his curiosity. He curiously opens the book titled, "A Diary for Grown-Ups" and questions its purpose, wondering who actually keeps a diary. He questions the content of the book, titled, "What kind of garbage is this?" noting, "One look and you know, this dude is not normal." On July 21, 2080, Sunny admires a woman doing laundry, thinking, "That figure is simply nice," as he enjoys the perfect day. On July 22, 2080, Sunny thinks about Bai, their new manager, admiring her fitness and beauty while hoping rumors about the K-virus don't reach them. He hides under the desk, panicked, whispering for manager Bai. He gasped in shock as the woman, looking hauntingly grotesque, stood there with cracks on her skin. Her expression was unsettling, sending chills down his spine. He learned the company had been quarantined, raising immediate concerns. He burst out of his room, expressing frustration about being confined and not allowed to go out. On July 24, 2080, he read about the R virus affecting the city, expressing worry that only instant noodles remained, fearing starvation if help didn't come. On July 25, 2080, he declared he couldn't take it anymore and resolved to break the lock, stating he needed to find food himself. In a modern architectural design, he admired the innovative building, imagining the vibrant life within, filled with colorful furniture and lively conversations. He let out a sigh of relief, watching debris scatter around the empty street, feeling the aftermath of chaos. He gritted his teeth as he struggled against the man, both fighting fiercely in the chaotic store. He exclaimed about the chaos, noting everyone was insane, destroying and stealing supplies as best they could. He successfully fetched food and medicine, but suddenly saw an infected person attacking someone nearby. On a rainy day in 2080, the anchor's last broadcast warned of rescue's uncertainty, urging them to save themselves while mocking humanity's belief in its own invincibility. On August 17, he lamented the lack of food and feared a swarm of infected might attack him. He wished he could see manager Bai again. He warned her not to approach, questioning her intentions. He noted that her shouting risked attracting the infected from outside. He screamed in shock as he witnessed a fierce fight outside, torn between fear and curiosity. He shouted in horror, revealing that the woman had been stabbed to death by her own husband. He wondered what the man was doing as papers flew outside. Startled, he reacted vigorously as blood trickled from his face, expressing shock with wide eyes under an explosive aura. He stumbled forward, retching violently and losing his balance. On August 19, feeling desperate after 4 days without food, he realized he was starving. Just as he was about to lose hope, someone knocked on his door. He wondered if what was inside the room contained penicillin, feeling puzzled as he relaxed on the chair. He munched on a sandwich, pondering how surprising it is that penicillin works while other antibiotics fail. A scattered array of snacks surrounded him. He reflected on how he owed his life to the day he took that medicine while enjoying a treat on the balcony. He recalled August 21, shocked at someone eating a dead zombie from the balcony, wondering how anyone could stomach it. He wondered, contemplating the small golden sphere, if it could really be eaten. On August 30, he lamented about being robbed, the penicillin he hid vanished, and those monsters stole his only chance for survival. On September 1, he resolved to escape the prison-like house, noting that even with the infected outside, he refused to starve foolishly in his own room. He resolved to find food or end up like the zombie before him. He grinned fiercely, clutching a knife, declaring it would be either him or the zombie. He looked puzzled, exclaiming in disbelief at the empty pages, questioning if this was all there was. He looked shocked while holding a book titled, "A Play for Grown-Ups," pondering if someone had truly died. He set aside his thoughts, reflecting on the diary's insights about the R virus, noting the zombies and current crises like food shortages and paralysis. He mentioned that there was another important point to address. He explained that in this world, penicillin is more valuable than gold, and although many search for it, few can find it. He contemplated how in his world, he could easily purchase the precious penicillin, unlike the struggles others faced in finding it. He grinned widely, exclaiming joyfully that he had struck gold. He exclaimed in surprise about finding a box of penicillin, realizing it explained why the girl was still alive, while the other character aimed a gun at him. He expressed disbelief at the full bottle of penicillin, thinking it would earn him a promotion, while aiming his gun at the kneeling character. He shouted for mercy, insisting he had more to offer, desperately pleading, "Don't shoot." He raised the gun, but she confidently confronted him, ready for anything. He shouted for everyone to stay back, threatening to kill the terrified man beside him. She warned him that if he dared to shoot, she would blow his head off and instructed him to listen carefully to the sounds outside. He realized the recent battle had drawn a large horde of zombies, and panic set in as he heard their eerie calls, "Gah!" He urged to let someone go, insisting they could still escape, while another expressed concern that waiting too long would lead to their demise. He argued they were far enough and insisted to free him. He confronted Xiao Yunlin, stating that she had killed many of his friends, declaring she would pay for her actions. He swung the whip with determination, the force creating a whooshing sound. He vowed to Xiao Yunlin that their next meeting would end with him chopping her into zombie food for his brothers, while she stood nearby, surprised. She asked how long he intended to continue this act, her frustration evident as she clutched her furry companion. She suggested resting a bit before they ventured out again, gazing towards the darkened windows, while he stood silently beside her. She asked him a few questions, demanding to know who he was and why he had items like peanuts and penicillin that ordinary people wouldn't possess. He hesitated, reflecting on how Xiao Yunlin seemed intimidating. In this apocalypse, he knew it was best to keep his secrets and perhaps find a way to bluff. He confidently threw a blue capsule to her, catching her off guard. She stood in surprise as she watched the object approach. She exclaimed, "Penicillin," while holding the blue capsule, looking surprised. He offered the box as a gift, suggesting it was payment. He promised that staying by his side would bring many benefits. He then asked if she wanted to make a deal. He questioned her seriousness, while she encouraged him to accept. She mentioned she could offer even more appealing options beyond just penicillin. He showed surprise when she mentioned even more desirable things. He confidently affirmed his answer, his expression radiating determination. With a confident smile, he enthusiastically listed dishes like roasted duck and salted goose, clearly excited about the feast spread before him. She felt overwhelmed, imagining cured meat, preserved eggs, and assorted vegetable platters as she eagerly anticipated the meal. He urgently commanded her to stop, a hint of desperation in his voice. She hesitated, expressing her reluctance to protect someone possibly part of an enemy faction while he reassured her, stating he didn't belong to any faction. He confidently describes himself as a pretty boy, living in luxury, claiming it's from some utopian land, contrasting this with the harsh reality of struggling as a 21st-century employee. She notes that the tender-skinned boy resembles a spoiled young master. Reflecting on her survival, she acknowledges the penicillin he provided, calling him her true lifesaver. She agrees, introducing herself to Qin Shuang and promising to keep him safe. She warns that if he lies, she will kill him. He smiles confidently, pointing to his shirt that reads, "Shuang," proclaiming that her luck has arrived, little Lanlin. He asks if he can ask her questions now that they've made a deal. She replies with a simple, "Yes." She enthusiastically teaches Apocalypse 101, pointing at a skeleton on the board while he attentively listens. She explains how the R virus and zombie cores triggered the apocalypse, infecting 80% of humans and causing a drastic population drop from 9 billion to 1.5 billion, leaving zombies behind. He explains that zombie cores, which have plant and mineral traits, can be absorbed by living beings for energy or evolution potions, providing a temporary boost. He explains that evolution potions come in 3 grades, with grade 1 having a 20% chance and grade 3 a 39% chance. He mentions that zombie cores can maximize energy. He describes how the new R virus adapts quickly, making modern antibiotics ineffective. Penicillin remains valuable due to mutations in its production conditions. After the world ended, people formed groups like ancient tribes. They connected to larger organizations. Currently, they are in Chengzhou with 3 small organizations: 17th Faction, Earth Construction, and Climber's Aid. She informs everyone that the 17th Faction engages in violent crime, including murder and looting, and they often resort to cannibalism. He contemplates seriously, having just realized something important. He notes the area is filled with zombies and admits they won't return to base. The character suggests finding a place to spend the night. He thinks for a moment before deciding to rest while she stays alert. She remains silent, lost in thought, her expression serious and contemplative. He thinks it's hard to believe she's a formidable survivor just by looking at her face. He stands confidently, revealing the primordial emperor system is initiating his journey to the 21st century. He winces, exclaiming how heavy everything feels as he adjusts. She leans down, asking if he is awake, while he looks confused and shocked. He exclaims in amazement, while she gasps in surprise, leaning closer. She pleads for gentleness, her expression anxious and vulnerable. He questions the landlord's presence, anxiety evident in his expression. He humorously acknowledges her as his emergency contact after a fainting incident, asking when she arranged it while sitting in a revealing dress. She asks if he is hungry and offers to feed him. He is surprised and flustered, exclaiming, "Feed me," as he reacts to her unexpected offer. He is shocked, saying, "Shoot. I meant I'll make you some noodles," while she giggles, commenting that he's a handful. She offers to get essentials, prompting him to request a list. He decides to examine the primordial emperor system more closely since he is alone. He realizes that simply thinking about primordial emperor system brings up a cursor on his arm. He finds it straightforward, noting options like storage, power-up, and dimensional shift appearing around his arm. He frowns, pondering how to activate the power-up, while wondering if a recharge is needed. She returns home, announcing her arrival while feeling exhausted, carrying 2 heavy bags. He offers to take the items while urging her not to move. She comments on his patience, while thinking about her landlord, Zhang Luoxue, a wealthy heiress whose affections she can sense even without sight. He silently reflects on his lack of money, realizing he cannot bring her happiness, which is why he has never acknowledged her feelings. He considers the primordial emperor system, thinking that trading between worlds could generate significant profit, which might allow him to provide for her. She asks Uncle Zhao what he is doing there, while he questions who informed her of his presence. He informs Xiao Shui that her father sent him to take her to Yuhaixuan for dinner. She firmly states that she isn't going and feels busy. She insists on not going, resisting Uncle Zhao's push as he urges her. She feels obligated but struggles against the decision. He tells her to wait for him downstairs first. She appears confused, asking what he is doing, but he suggests she head down first regardless. He asks her if there is anything else she needs. He expressed frustration, believing he had clarified everything previously, questioning her continued attachment to Xiao Shui and suggesting the money he provided wasn't sufficient. He advised her not to return the money, claiming she should rise above it. He questioned her understanding of the situation with Xiao Shui and warned her about her father's opposition. He wondered aloud about the prospect of becoming very rich. He stood confidently, suggesting that despite every dog's day, he had seen little to impress him so far. He smirked, implying that she would never achieve anything significant in her life. She called out urgently, demanding he wake up, her concern evident in her vibrant blue eyes. He urged daybreak that it was time to leave, while she prepared by looking out the window. He called out to her, urging her to wait as she ran ahead on the rooftop, with a crowd looming below. She exclaimed they had arrived, her blue hair framing her focused expression. He stated that it was their base as they walked. He explained how well hidden the space was, noting that it was unnoticeable from outside. She excitedly told Ruo Yu that she had returned with the penicillin. He expressed surprise, his eyes wide and a bead of sweat forming on his brow, indicating his astonishment. She lay bandaged and injured in bed, whispering, "Sister," conveying her pain and longing for companionship. She gently urged Ruo Yu to take the medicine, reassuring him he would heal soon. He asked if she was Ruo Yu's sister and wondered what had happened to her. She recalled that a zombie had scratched her, sharing her failed mission to trade zombie cores for penicillin, only to be ambushed by Faction 17. She lay bandaged and vulnerable, a voice asking if she had been hurt after the ambush. She reassured him that she was okay, expressing gratitude towards a friend who had provided essential medicine, acknowledging their role in saving lives. He insisted there was no need for gratitude, stating it was a miracle for 2 girls to survive in such harsh conditions. He noticed the eerie crowd, many sporting twisted smiles and distorted features, creating a haunting atmosphere. He offered her food, and she exclaimed her hunger after running all day. He was amazed while enjoying his meal, exclaiming, "Whoa," as he happily munched. He struggled to swallow the noodles, exclaiming, "Ugh," while she watched with an amused expression. She wondered if it was truly that bad as she munched, insisting it's not bad when she eats it. He asked why she was crying, wondering if it was truly that bad. She reassured him it wasn't, while he felt guilty about them both. He asked her why she wouldn't eat, mentioning his efforts to collect it from the sewer, as she considered her choice. He urged her to open her mouth, while she reacted in surprise, unable to comprehend what was happening. She confidently declared that the dish was delicious, her excitement evident as she expressed her delight in the vibrant atmosphere. She joyfully exclaimed about the rich milky aroma, embracing the refreshing sweetness as she danced through the blooming meadow. He asked her if she was okay, noting her frozen state, adding that he had fed her white rabbit creamy candy. She exclaimed how delicious it was, eyes sparkling with excitement. He offered more, sensing she enjoyed it, as her eyes gleamed with interest. She pointed at him with determination, while he looked surprised and worried. She called out to her mother with urgency while anxiously sucking her fingers. He panicked, realizing his hand was trapped, while she faced him, seemingly unfazed, with a chill atmosphere around them. Her eyes sparkled as she exclaimed how delicious it was, excitement evident in her expression. Feeling embarrassed, he shyly asked if he could have another, wiping sweat from his brow. She encouraged Ruo Yu to try the food, gently offering it. His bandaged form lay on the bed, while she looked hopeful. She exclaimed how delicious the white rabbit creamy candy was, while he explained that someone had just given it to him. She expressed how delicious everything was while feeling grateful to be alive. She reminded him to eat slowly as there was still plenty left, while he wept, feeling overwhelmed and stating it was just too sad. She offered him a spread of snacks, saying it was all for them. She exclaimed about the snack, recognizing it from a book. He questioned if all the snacks were for them, to which she confirmed it was for her to eat, assuring him she had more. She looked concerned and speechless, beads of sweat forming on her forehead. He looked confused as someone handed him a bag, asking, "What's this?" She handed over the collected zombie cores, stating they were all his. She handed over a bag filled with zombie cores, insisting he take them all. Crackle echoed in the room. He felt anxious as the zombie cores approached, wondering if there was a connection between them. He confidently accepted the offer, questioning whether the items were truly as valuable as suggested. She expressed gratitude for the penicillin that saved her sister and herself, then mentioned the insufficient supplies gathered so far. She urgently asked if they had a restroom, expressing her need to go. He cheerfully pointed and said to her that the restroom is just around the corner. She acknowledged with a smile, feeling relieved. He exclaimed in surprise, questioning the ancient squat toilet's depth while holding a bag. He decided to prioritize action, urging to handle the situation first with a swift gesture. He was alone and decided to investigate the zombie core, eagerly saying, "Open up," as he pulled back the cloth. He noticed the heat in his arm again, realizing there was a connection as he examined the glowing green core in his hand. He felt a sudden jolt in his arm and noticed, with shock, that the glowing green core had disappeared completely. He realized the system indicated a successful power-up and an increase in dimensional shifts, questioning if the power-up was meant for dimensional shifting. He eagerly announced he would add a few more items to his bag, his playful spirit evident as he reached for the contents. He completed the power-up, eagerly rolling down the glowing orbs in his hand. He successfully completed the power-up, eagerly rolling the glowing orbs down into the hole. He reflected on the system prompt, believing that 9 shifts would suffice for his next challenge. He decided to store the remaining zombie cores for the time being, smiling confidently as he handled them. He looked at the mysterious object with confusion, saying, "Huh?" as he examined its intricate design. He shouted in panic, demanding, "Where's my zombie core?" Frantically, he noticed only 2 left instead of the bag he had before. He gasped, wondering if it could be the source of the stinky smell, as he looked down at the emitting box. He stared blankly, a single drop of sweat trickling down his face, conveying his confusion and uncertainty. He looked troubled, responding that everything was fine but feeling a bit constipated, leaving her confused about his obvious discomfort. She announced it was time to eat, surprising him. He questioned her choice of food, feeling concerned as he recalled giving her plenty to eat before. He questioned her about consuming all the precious food at once, noting it would be a waste after her hard work collecting it from the sewer. He reassured her there was plenty more food available, noticing her surprise while she hesitated with a spoon. She questioned him, surprised, asking if he hadn't given all the food to them. He noted that she was unaware of his storage space, thinking it would be too odd to take out more. He worried the food he had wasn't enough for 3 people. He coughed and explained he was a merchant, receiving deliveries regularly, assuring her there was plenty of food. She asked why he hadn't mentioned it before. He smiled and admitted he didn't completely trust her yet, but mentioned he would go out tomorrow to gather supplies and return with more food. He cheerfully announced he was leaving to gather supplies. She called out for him to wait. He handed her a small gun, urging her to take it. He questioned why the gun was so small, while she emphasized that its power mattered more than size, stating it was a deadly assassin's weapon and urged him to take it. He asked if she needed company, but she confidently replied she could manage alone, reassuring him as another character rested nearby. She urgently called out to her sister, who stood wrapped in bandages, revealing a tense atmosphere filled with worry. She excitedly informed Ruo Yu that she could walk now, while Ruo Yu felt relieved, commenting on how effective the medicine had been. She instructed her brother to secretly follow the man and see where he went, curious about his intentions. She notes his unusual appearance and doubts the merchant's true identity, believing his generosity might just be a ruse. He thinks he has walked far enough that she shouldn't still be trailing him. He notices a strange phenomenon and exclaims, "Dimensional shift," in surprise as he looks at his wrist. He thinks about leaving the hospital, worried about accumulating bills. He worries about his long job search and dwindling savings, feeling like a failure despite once believing in his future wealth. He decides to gather necessary supplies, determined to move forward. He reflects on the value of food and medicine in the apocalypse, feeling frustrated by his lack of channels to sell them. He worries that if he goes to Faction 7, the fierce brutes will steal his items and threaten his life. He requests the bill from the cashier. He thinks Xiao Yunlin is skilled but outmatched, only able to protect him from zombies. He considers trying other factions she mentioned. The cashier cheerfully tells him his total is 1,054 yuan, while he responds with a surprised, "Ah," at the unexpected amount. He carries 2 bags and thinks how they should fit in the system's storage. He decides to pack extra clothes to minimize shifts. He feels frustrated about being so frugal, expressing regret over the situation with the pit toilet. She questions her tracking skills, feeling frustrated and unsure as she wipes her forehead anxiously. She remarks how this location provides an excellent view, deciding to stay put as she expresses doubt that he will actually arrive. He quickly lifts a box, startled by a flash of light. He suggests carrying everything back to avoid suspicion. He exclaimed he hadn't seen any zombies previously. Noticing the sealed-off area, he suggested finding another route while ominous figures loomed below. He wondered what was happening and why more zombies appeared. He urgently called for Xiao Yunlin to come help him. He stood on the metal platform, frustrated that he couldn't get through. He considered heading back, feeling the weight of disappointment. He felt a rush of terror as the eerie figure dashed forward, its mouth twisted in a grotesque grin, rattling ominously. He flew through the air, colliding with colorful debris, as explosions echoed around him. He struggled to maintain his grip on the ledge, panting. The chaotic scene below him erupted with noise and movement. He desperately activated his quick climb skill, sweating profusely as he struggled with the dimensional shift. He anxiously realized he couldn't maintain his grip during the dimensional shift. A notification appeared, stating he had 7 skill points available. He shouted in frustration, questioning the system while his skill, Quick Climb, was upgraded twice, consuming 8 skill points. He pulled the rope with frustration, with electric sparks crackling around him. A notification chimed, indicating something was happening. He exclaimed with excitement that he could easily hold the wire with one hand, feeling incredible as he hung in midair. He confidently claimed he could walk on the wire, likening it to walking on solid ground. He excitedly exclaimed that it was so cool, just like Spider-Man. He noticed a creature imitating Spider-Man's moves while perched on a wire, letting out playful puffs of air. He thought Qin Shuang seemed fragile but impressive in climbing. Yuo Yu realized this guy was not an ordinary person. He jumped, shouting, "Hop!" showcasing his energy and determination while carrying a heavy bag. He determined he couldn't continue due to zombies blocking the original path, needing to find a higher vantage point to plan an alternate route back to base. He exclaimed that wall climbing was easy, quickly climbing up. He wondered excitedly about unlocking more skills in the system. He shouted in surprise at how gross the zombies appeared and offered fresh meat. Then, he challenged the nearest zombie to catch him if possible. He hesitated, surprised by the ominous clacking noise filling the air, beads of sweat forming on his forehead. He leapt with fright as glass shattered. The crowd screamed, "Ah!" Frustration overwhelmed him as he shouted, "Damn it!" Tears streamed down his face, reflecting his intense emotions. He struck the figure with force, causing blood to splatter dramatically, and a loud crack echoed through the air. He panicked, wondering what had happened, blood on his hand, questioning how his grip had become so powerful to potentially snap a zombie's neck. He panicked, realizing zombies surrounded him. His Kirin arm was useless against them, urging himself to escape. He felt relief, thinking he had narrowly escaped death, reflecting that a minor injury could still be fatal in this perilous world where being flashy is dangerous. He was curious, having felt lighter lately, wondering why as he stared at his clothes. "Huh?" he exclaimed, puzzled. He panicked, exclaiming that he couldn't find his bag, eyes wide in shock as he clung to the wall. He noticed the red cushion dropped on the ground, surrounded by a crowd of onlookers, their silhouettes moving in a chaotic frenzy. He wondered how this could happen. After coming all this way, he lamented losing his supplies and gritted his teeth, vowing to spend his remaining cash. He shouted in frustration that the bag contained his startup capital. Determined, he vowed to get it back. He cheerfully called out to his friends, offering to playfully shake their hands, suggesting they enjoy soft, tender human hands. He encourages everyone to take their time, showing enthusiasm as they playfully interact, while figures are seen falling outside the window. He remarks that everyone appears to have fallen over, expressing that there are so many of them, causing his arms to feel sore from hitting. He confidently states that handling them is easy, just a little trick, and they'll be defeated. He notices something moving and wonders what it could be, his expression shifting to curiosity. He wonders if he just saw a red shadow as he holds a basketball, questioning whether he's imagining things. He feels a chilling presence as he stares intently, realizing a sinister red shadow lurks behind him, grinning menacingly. A sinister figure with red eyes and a chilling grin lunges forward, laughing maniacally. As he jumps backward, debris flies around him, echoing a loud bang. Expressing the force of the impact, he dodges a zombie, realizing it was faster than expected. He considers returning to a modern era, but worries about wasting skill points next time. Feeling the urgency, he realizes he must fully commit, invoking the primordial Emperor's system as a terrifying creature lunges at him. With all skill points gone, he receives an upgrade notification for his quick climb, reaching level 6 and unlocking fearless focus and steady footing. He felt the terrifying presence of a ghostly figure, its eerie grin menacing him. The moment erupted with tension as shadows clashed in a fierce encounter. He realized his newfound clarity to dodge attacks just in time, feeling the adrenaline surge. Her scream echoed, underscoring the tension of the moment. He dashed forward, realizing that even after using all his skill points, he was barely keeping pace with the pursuing figure. He gritted his teeth, realizing that full effort wouldn't stop the force, while his stamina was quickly fading from the relentless speed. He realized he couldn't hold out much longer, fearing that slowing down even for a moment would lead to disaster. He felt his heart race as the monstrous figure with blood-red eyes lunged forward, its tongue flicking menacingly, threatening to overpower him. He exhaled heavily, gripping his weapon tightly, blood splattering his face as he readied himself for the next challenge. He laughed maniacally while ripping into the creature, frustrated it still lived, questioning, "What the heck is this thing?" He dug his fingers into the green, squishy substance, hearing the sounds of crunching and crackling. He confidently held up the glowing orb, exclaiming it was a zombie core. He noticed the doors swing open with a loud clang, revealing the intruder's arrival, heightening the tension as he prepared for action. He frowned, contemplating how he actually managed to escape. He observed, realizing that Qin Shuang's combat abilities matched his own. He returned cheerfully, announcing he was back and eager to show what exciting items he had brought, promising they'd blow everyone's minds. She greeted Brother Shuang with excitement, thrilled to see him return. He looked surprised and asked, "Who are you?" with a concerned expression, sweat trickling down his face. She playfully introduced herself as Ruo Yu, teasing his inability to recognize her without the bandages. She worriedly asked Shuang why he was covered in blood, expressing concern for his well-being, but he reassured her that it was just zombie blood. She playfully encouraged him to check her over, while he teasingly warned her not to lie to Ruo Yu, their flirty exchange filled with tension. He expressed his excitement about life, exclaiming how amazing it is to be alive, while a playful scene unfolds around him. She expressed relief, noting there were no wounds, and added playfully, "Bro, you're covered in dirt. Get cleaned up quickly, I'll bathe with you." He looked surprised and asked what she meant, questioning if they would bathe together. She agreed, noting they should conserve water due to its scarcity. She sighed, playfully annoyed, as bubbles surrounded her in the warm shower. He stared intensely, beads of sweat trickling down his face, contemplating something important. He asked Bro Shuang why he was taking so long to undress, urging him to hurry up. Meanwhile, a girl with cold feet suggested she wouldn't get him killed if his sister found out. She questioned why her sister would be upset, stating they typically bathed together. He urged her to stop hesitating and come inside, wondering if this was how it should be. He confidently declared he would comply and stepped forward, while she, taken aback, prepared to enter the room. She playfully smiled, her long hair shimmering with droplets, exuding confidence. He laughed joyously, his eyes sparkling with love and excitement. He felt a cold hand on his shoulder, and the chilling voice commanded him to halt. He called out to Qin Shuang and confronted someone, insisting they had seen his sister's naked body. He smirked and claimed he hadn't seen anything, explaining his severe nearsightedness since childhood. He laughed, showing off the cool stuff he found, claiming they had enough to last for days. He smiled, mentioning he brought fruit for a balanced diet, while she glanced skeptically at the bananas. Excitedly, she exclaimed that these were bananas, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. He encouraged her to enjoy the bananas, urging her not to be shy as he held one out to her. He was taken aback as she unexpectedly slapped the banana. He eagerly enjoyed the sweet treat, indulgently savoring every moment. He narrowed his eyes, contemplating the situation, with a hint of blush on his cheeks. He leaned in closer, eagerly savoring the sweetness of the moment. She exclaimed joyfully that it was incredibly sweet and delicious, savoring her treat with satisfaction. He curiously asked Qin Shuang what was wrong, while enjoying his banana and wanting to savor it a little longer. He exclaimed how much food there was, feeling it was dreamlike. Qin Shuang was questioned about giving such valuable supplies to them. He was confident, claiming that despite the risks, he trusted Qin Shuang to ensure his safety. She felt overwhelmed by guilt, vowing to keep her promise despite having hidden away when Qin Shuang was in danger. He thought deeply about needing supplies but feared his savings. He realized he had to find a way to earn money quickly. He questioned the value of money, considering it useless, akin to scrap paper. It was even too slippery for practical tasks like wiping. He passionately explained that it should be gold and treasures. He stated that his business involves trading supplies for these items. She urged him to wake up, revealing her impatience. The atmosphere felt tense as she stood over him with determination. She focused intently as she struggled to lift up the table. Her determination was noticeable while others observed her with interest. She asked if it would work while preparing to strike the yellow object on the table, her companions watching in anticipation. She reached out to the gleaming gold bars, mesmerized by their brilliance. He stared at the shiny gold bar, awestruck and speechless. He marveled at the gold bar, feeling its shiny texture. She recalled how the item was deemed worthless before, questioning if that was really considered gold and treasures. She mentioned having 5 or 6 more gold pieces hidden under the table, drawing attention to the glimmering treasures. He instructed her to take the gold, stating it was useless to them anyway, while she stood nearby with a bag. He smiled widely, feeling rich as he lay on the bed. He excitedly told Xiaoshui that he now had money, feeling elated about what he could finally do. She raised her knife threateningly, determined and fierce, as he looked up nervously, feeling the weight of the moment. She gripped her weapon tightly, glaring at the other girl, asking what she was doing. She determinedly suggested that if they took him out now, all his supplies would belong to them. She argued passionately that they wouldn't be alive without the penicillin he provided. She questioned how they could repay kindness with malice. She reminded her companion that their problems began with Xiaorong's deception. They had lost their base and many lives to the treachery of scoundrels. She warned that if her companion hadn't intervened in the bathroom, she would have already attacked him. She exclaimed in anger about the traitor, noting that he had no reason to waste penicillin on them when they were nearly dead. However, Qin Shuang had still given them the precious medicine, proving he wasn't all bad. He asked the two what they were doing and questioned the silent mumbling. Ruo Yu suggested to Bro Shuang about sleeping together, surprising him, while another character questioned why they hadn't mentioned it sooner, noting their wasted time. Ruo Yu exclaimed to Qin Shuang that she wanted to sleep with him too. The boy replied that he had no issue but insisted on being in the middle. Ruo Yu laughed mischievously, a grin spreading across her face as she planned her next move, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Ruo Yu and another girl lay beside him, stealing glances, their playful expressions hinting at unspoken emotions and shared secrets. Ruo Yu grips the blanket tightly, whispering to herself, "Pull out." Her anxious expression reflects a moment of vulnerability. A sharp scythe whooshes dangerously close as the character prepares for action, their expression showing determination and urgency. He quickly kicked the scythe away, determined to avoid danger. He laughed joyfully, feeling exhilarated, with sweat glistening on his forehead. "So thrilling," he exclaimed, enjoying the moment. Yunlin asked what he was trying to do, while he felt uneasy. A female character reminded them they couldn't proceed with her sister present. She insisted to Qin Shuang her desire for exclusive intimacy, looking intensely into his eyes, while he was visibly caught off guard. She urged him to stay with her, promising safety at night, while he reluctantly agreed, realizing safety mattered to him. She asked Bro Shuang if he was an evolved one, while he focused on a book, surprised by her interest. He confidently stated that he was only a regular handsome guy, denying being an evolved one while smirking playfully. He asked her how she managed to escape from that building, curiosity evident in his expression. He looked at her, surprised and curious, asking how she knew. She teased Ruo Yu about his sharp nose, saying yesterday she had sensed his return. She expressed her fear about the terrifying building, stating only the strongest evolved can survive, while complimenting Shuang, suggesting he must be impressive too. He mentioned getting lost but avoided zombies, crediting Yunlin's handgun for his narrow escape. He jokingly suggested creating a story about having the primordial emperor's system. She complimented his marksmanship and invited him to practice at the shooting range. She questioned him about his marksmanship, asking if he aimed at the target or if he had an eye problem. She criticized his grip on the gun, claiming he was all wrong. He felt her breath on his skin as she urged him to get closer. He advised her to relax her arm, tension evident in their posture. He urged her not to tense up, a sense of urgency in his voice. He urged her to relax and focus on the target as he shouted, "Fire." He aimed carefully, focusing hard, as the gun fired with a loud bam. Only moments later, the bullet struck the target's center, eliciting a soft PFFT sound. He shouted for her to hit the target, activating his long-range weapon mastery skill. He gasped, a look of surprise crossing his face, contemplating an urgent upgrade for his weapon. He questioned whether he could still activate more skills, noting he had used all his zombie cores and could only rely on the last one from a red zombie. He explained that one zombie core powers 2 skill points and shifting dimensions costs 1 point, leaving him with no spare skill points for upgrades. He asked Yunlin if she knew where to buy zombie cores. She replied that a marketplace indeed existed. She informed him about a small trading post situated 2 kilometers away. He enthusiastically declared it was great and suggested they go. He sat relaxed, reading the newspaper while sounds of thudding echoed, drawing his attention. He grinned, inviting someone in, smoke curling from his cigarette. He laughed, apologizing for his jumpiness, while another questioned about zombies. A third character asked what they might trade. He was startled by the noise as he reached for cans, glancing nervously at the 3 items: mango, mixed fruit, and hot pepper. He was amazed by the quality of the 21st century fresh meat cans and thought these items were incredibly rare. He stopped and said to his friend, "First, the zombie core." They both seemed eager and curious. He smirked, smoking a cigarette, teasing, "You might look silly, but you're pretty sharp, kiddo." His playful confidence filled the air. He confidently reminded the other that they'd said it first, adding that while people scared him, zombies did not require caution. He said he'd retrieve the items while she watched, noticing the man's heart-covered shirt. He presented a bag, stating these were all the zombie cores he had, totaling 11. He discussed market prices, explaining that 4 zombie cores could be exchanged for fresh meat, while mentioning a deal for 12 zombie cores. He confidently assured his friend that he would include an extra can, while the friend looked puzzled. He made a request, holding out a can, while his friend, with a puzzled expression, wondered what it could be. He asked if his friend recognized the item he held, while his friend, looking curious, responded with a thoughtful, He hesitated, unsure, but remarked that the object resembled gold. He excitedly praised her sharp observation, realizing he was correct in anticipating her presence. He noted the extra cans were his commission and urged his brother, who appeared well connected, to help gather the metals. He proposed trading cans for collected items. He remarked to the kid that the deal seemed appealing, questioning why the kid needed the gold, suggesting it wasn't valuable. He smiled and assured the kid not to worry, encouraging him to gather as much of the items as possible, stating the more there was, the better. He activated the upgrade, feeling skill points consolidate as he prepared for a powerful boost, noticing he had 24 points remaining. He activated the upgrade for long-range weapon mastery 4 times, feeling the power within him as he unlocked a new active effect titled Calamity Strike. He celebrated his success as the target was fully hit, feeling a thrill of achievement. He grinned, reveling in his achievement as he declared that he had finally become a godlike shooter. He confidently stated that he had just activated a new effect, the Doom Bullet, which sounded impressively powerful. He prepared to test it out. He questioned why someone was so stingy and asked how to use the Doom Bullet. He questioned whether shouting, "Doom Bullet, fire," was necessary, feeling embarrassed at the thought of being treated like a superhero. He asked why humans like announcing their moves, claiming it follows their customs. He expressed frustration, recalling when he nearly died and the other person hadn't rushed. He declared, "Doom Bullet," as he brandished the weapon, ready for action. He shouted, "Fire," while aiming his weapon, exuding determination. She asked her brother about the shooter, completely confused, while he admitted he had no idea. He questioned if the shooter was in the building across, expressing confusion about why it was just a regular bullet. He concluded that more research was needed on this bullet. The blue-haired character urged to leave the items and prepare a room for Qin Shuang. Surprised, he asked if she could carry all the items, offering his assistance. She confidently remarked that the weight was easy for them evolvers, while her expression showed determination. She confidently claimed that all evolvers could handle the weight, indicating her determination as he looked on. She asserted that ordinary survivors couldn't measure up, emphasizing that only a few could successfully evolve. He asked her if he had any opportunity to become an evolver. She reflected, mentioning there are 3 methods to become an evolver. He explained that the first method to become an evolver is to get infected with the R virus, surviving without turning into a zombie. He noted this was more common early in the outbreak. He explained that the second method to become an evolver involves consuming a zombie core, ensuring there's less than a 10% chance of failure. He explained that the third method to become an evolver involves taking an evolution potion, which has varying success rates at different levels. He excitedly offered to trade anything necessary for the evolution potions. He offered to take her to the Earth Construction Alliance, explaining it was different from Camp Number 7 and that they could trade for an evolution potion. He asked if Ruo Yu was joining them, feeling her glare. He mentioned to not worry about Ruo Yu, explaining her glare was due to an eye condition. He wondered why it felt like more zombies were approaching the base while she concluded it was time to clean up a bit. She yelled at Qin Shuang, demanding to know why he wouldn't let her kill him, gripping a gun tightly. She gasped in surprise at the rumble, staring at the crumbling building in disbelief. She realized the building was about to collapse, pieces shattering everywhere. She gasped, wondering how the building had collapsed unexpectedly. She explained that the area is Central Street, filled with many zombies. He advised that it's best not to fire a gun unless absolutely necessary. He noticed her as she turned, her outfit barely covering much. The atmosphere felt charged and tense, highlighting their complicated relationship. She pulled a metal rod from behind the vehicle, ready for action. He asked if this was her base, and she replied that for safety, she had several supply points. She suggested driving to the Earth Construction Alliance, stating it was a 2.5-hour journey on the highway. He noticed a few zombies trailing them, but she reassured him there was no need to worry, promising they would shake them off soon. She questioned if he was truly ready to become an evolver, cautioning him about the risks of the highest-grade evolution potion. He expressed uncertainty about taking it, suggesting they buy it first. He mentioned that the main purpose of the trip to the Earth Construction Alliance was to exchange supplies. He recalled Yun Lan's warning about the Earth Construction Alliance, expressing concerns about potential danger and suggesting careful trust building in their first deal. He noticed the masked figure with a sinister grin, its eerie gaze unsettling him. He screamed in terror, while she urged him to calm down. He yelled in panic about the sudden swarm of red zombies as the truck sped away, startled by the chaos. He urged his teammate to shoot down the attackers as they maneuvered to dodge incoming shots, panic in their eyes. She gripped the weapon tightly, determination in her piercing gaze as danger lurked closer. Frustrated, he cursed his aim while she warned him to dodge, explaining that normal weapons are ineffective against the red zombies that evade bullets. Qin Shuang urged the driver to go quickly while preparing to take care of the threat herself, showing determination to handle the situation. She was violently thrown from the truck as demons attacked. Demons with grotesque grins cackled menacingly, surrounding her ominously. He warned the attackers not to harm his bodyguard with determination in his eyes, surrounded by a glowing aura. She exclaimed Qin Shuang's name in shock, her eyes wide with disbelief. He stood over the defeated red zombies, contemplating the situation, while she knelt behind him, observing the aftermath. He stared in shock, questioning how they were all defeated so quickly. He sighed in relief, thinking he nearly didn't survive that. He called out to Xiao Yunlin as she was dropped from the truck, attacked by creatures, creating a tense and urgent situation. As Xiao Yunlin was attacked by the creatures, she exclaimed in alarm, "Oh no!" The atmosphere was filled with tension and urgency. As he sprinted forward with determination, he shouted, "Whoosh," while adrenaline fueled his urgency. As he faced multiple shadowy figures laughing maniacally, he prepared to attack, filled with determination. He stood resolutely as shadowy figures burst around him, blood splattering, determined to fight back against the chaos. He questioned whether she could dodge bullets, while gripping guns tightly, hinting at a tense confrontation ahead. He grinned wickedly, confidently declaring he would shoot her down, while laughing maniacally, his face marked with sweat and blood. She realized that Qin Shuang was incredibly powerful, noting that eliminating 6 red zombies so quickly was nearly equivalent to a first-tier evolver's ability. He joyfully exclaimed about the jackpot, while she prepared to level up by gathering zombie cores. He reflected, thinking his body couldn't handle high-speed movement after all, and wondered if he should hit the gym more. He wondered where the zombie cores had gone, while Qin Shuang told him to stop looking. Qin Shuang urged him to pay attention, prompting him to ask, "Huh?" He felt a pressing anticipation surrounding them. Qin Shuang asked why there were suddenly so many zombies, while he answered he had no idea. She insisted they should drive away. As chaos erupted, numerous hands crashed against the barrier, creating thundering sounds, signaling their desperate attempt to escape. As chaos surged, hands crashed against the barrier, desperate for freedom. Amidst a violent clash, a loud explosion echoed as the wheel crashed down, spilling chaos around. He asked why it wasn't moving, while she explained the zombie was stuck under the car. She exclaimed that it was slipping, while a sigh of relief followed as the pressure eased. He asked Xiao Yunlin how many bullets she had left, and she replied that not many remained. He snapped the grenade's pin while worrying he only had 10 seconds left. He thought 10 bullets were insufficient for so many zombies, feeling desperate. He realized his only option left was to use the Doom Bullet. He asked the system if only 1 Doom Bullet was free daily. Then he inquired how many more he could purchase with his skill points. He decided to buy 7 Doom Bullets, noting his skill points decreased by 7 and his total used today reached 14. He pondered that the last 2 skill points were reserved for dimensional shifts, worried that if the 8 Doom Bullets failed, he could only return to the modern era. He questioned the situation, worried about Xiao Yunlin's escape, as she seemed incapable of handling it alone. She believes Xiao Yunlin will definitely die there, while he reassures her that the car is very sturdy and they won't be able to reach them for a while. She reminds him to save his bullets while he smiles, telling her that using them all won't help with so many zombies around. She advises him to at least save 1 bullet, asserting it will be useful for him. He questioned the usefulness of a single bullet. She vowed to always keep the last bullet, asking him if he would want to be eaten by zombies. This last bullet is meant for him. She remarked that death is common, but she is prepared to face it, suggesting he keep a bullet for a less painful end. He felt a bead of sweat form as he remained silent, lost in thought. He felt anxious and bewildered, noting the lack of response after firing all 8 bullets without any reaction. As they sat in the car during the rain, he mentioned that they wouldn't have to worry about running out of water if they got stuck. She expressed hope that someone could lure the zombies away, remarking that no one would be that kind-hearted. He complained about a terrible smell, while she noted that the rain intensified the stench of the zombies' rotting flesh. He noticed the buckets filled with rainwater and decided it was time to fix the hole. Noticing the heavy rain, she thought about the unusual weather and considered how fascinating things might become if it continued the next day. He asked about the nature of the interesting thing, curiosity evident in his expression. She explained that zombies are essentially undead and unro, but noted that the moisture would be lost, causing the zombies around to be shriveled. She realized that if zombies remained in water too long, their skin would swell, and at first glance, they appeared as they did in life. She noted that the zombies would absorb water, causing their skin to swell further until the skin finally burst. He explained that they wouldn't die, instead, they'd become even more captivating in their appearance. He urged to stop talking, overwhelmed by the stench of decay, feeling nauseous. He hesitated, covering his nose, while she urged him to quickly look. Characters, once blue, now transformed back into humans, expressed shock and joy. He questioned if this was what she looked like when alive, noting they seemed about the same age. She wondered if he would look the same if she were alive, contemplating how different things might be in a normal world. He asked what she would do if the world remained normal. Surprised, she had a moment of realization, feeling anxious. She confessed she had never truly considered that, pondering the implications of a world without zombies as he listened intently. She expressed a desire to become a pastry chef, wondering if it would truly suit her. He confidently stated that a career as a pastry chef would suit her perfectly. He worried about leaving Xiao Yunlin behind and hoped for a solution. He considered resting briefly to regain strength for escaping the zombie horde together. He sensed the approaching danger as thunder rumbled ominously, and concern spread across their faces. He shouted about the lightning, expressing surprise at the unusual weather, claiming the area had always been dry. He was astonished by the sudden lightning, illuminating the area while shadows danced around him. He witnessed a powerful explosion, surrounded by brilliant blue energy. He looked shocked and intense, his eyes wide as he processed the startling event before him. He exclaimed in disbelief that they were all down. He shouted excitedly that all the zombies had been struck dead by lightning. He urged everyone to clear the path by moving the bodies, stating they couldn't drive out otherwise. She remarked on the boiling heat. He noted that it was dawn as they stood near the jeep. He said they made it, while she smiled confidently at him. He noticed the imposing building ahead, while his vehicle stood still, emanating a sense of anticipation. He noticed a car approaching and instructed his colleague to inform the gatekeeper. The other man nodded affirmatively. He lay in bed with two women, as one urged him to wake up because a car was at the city gate. He wondered if it was too early for anyone to arrive and suggested sending someone down to ask. He shouted for everyone in the car to get out. He asked the newcomer where she was from, curious about her appearance. He clarified they were traders, aiming to exchange goods, while she regarded him with a focused expression. He asked if she intended to trade goods, while resting his chin on his hand, feeling relaxed yet curious. He introduced the items for trade, addressing Brother Luo with a respectful demeanor. He prepared to open a can, intent on uncovering its contents while the sound of a can opener clicked. He furrowed his brow, responding to her frustration, "We haven't traded the goods yet. Why did you open it already?" He cheerfully insisted it was perfect for her to test the product quality, while she looked skeptical and anxious, contemplating his suggestion. He smirked and seemed confident, teasing her that he knew what was good. He gulped, captivated by the enticing aroma filling the air as he remarked how delightful it smelled. He hesitated, savoring the food, as he thought about how his friends, surprised, eagerly awaited his opinion. He smiled contentedly as he enjoyed the food, thinking, "Have some more." She exclaimed that he had finished off the entire can. He lamented that it was all gone before he could even taste it, holding the empty can thoughtfully. He reassured his friend, saying he had another. He extended a small item toward him. Qin Shuang fretted, asking if he knew the trade value of 8 cans, as they pondered their situation together. He burped loudly, feeling satisfied, and remarked that he was about 30% full, as he relaxed in his casual outfit. He gestured nonchalantly, declaring he'd let them enjoy the rest. He urged his friend not to grab his prize, insisting, "This one belongs to me." He remarked that the cans tasted great and promised to inform the Lord. He then commanded someone to take the 2 guests to the waiting area. He commanded them to follow him, leading the way with purpose. She laughed joyfully, holding her mother's hand as they walked together. Characters discussed the new stock, excitedly mentioning the top-notch quality. He asked if all the houses were occupied. She replied they were refugees sheltered by the city lord, without whom they'd have become zombie food long ago. He fell hard on the ground, exclaiming in pain, "Ouch," as a loud bang echoed from the impact. He shouted at the other, accusing him of stealing medicine, while preparing to beat him up. She pleaded for her life, promising not to steal again, while he exclaimed in surprise, realizing it's a girl. He pleaded with his older brother for mercy, while another characterized his reluctance to use violence. He yelled at his brother to move aside, revealing his anger. He demanded to know if his brother was aware of the theft of medicine from the warehouse. He confronted her about the scarcity of medicines, emphasizing that improper usage results in death. Additionally, they only act under the city lord's direct command. She noted that the girl had stolen medicine multiple times, but she finally caught her. Demanding the medicine, she insisted, "Hand it over now." He told the outsiders not to worry, as they had their own justice system for punishing thieves, and asked them to follow him. He called the girl to accompany him to the justice office, eager to show how the head of justice would handle her. The guard informs them that the city lord is busy today and hands over the keys, suggesting she can rest before meeting him tomorrow. An elderly woman asks a man if he has seen her granddaughter, while he replies curtly that he hasn't. An elderly woman asks a man if he's seen her granddaughter. He angrily tells her to get lost, adding a threat about his mining plans. An elderly woman anxiously asks if anyone has seen her granddaughter, describing her small braid in brown hair and mentioning she hasn't returned since the previous night. The two young men discuss the elderly woman's missing granddaughter, speculating that she might be the girl they encountered yesterday. He informs the elderly woman that her granddaughter was taken to the justice office for stealing medicine, suggesting she should inquire further. The elderly woman, distressed and remorseful, blames herself for her granddaughter Xiao Yu's capture, insisting she stole the medicine to help her. He reminds his friends they must hurry to meet the Lord. He urgently calls out for Xiao Yu, mentioning their grandma is present. He recognizes the figure above, questioning if she is Qin Shuang, while soldiers stand guard. He hesitated, nervously stating, yes, that's me," as the atmosphere grew tense. He boasted about his trading rule of only exchanging goods with familiar people, while chomping on food and wondering if the guards liked the canned meat. He confidently declared that the canned meat is fresh and loved by everyone who has tasted it, urging others to try it. He sat confidently while a servant presented an array of dishes, saying, "Lord, please enjoy." As he devoured the food with enthusiasm, he cheered loudly, "Delicious," while crumbs flew everywhere. He exclaimed that the food tasted amazing and far better than his usual meals, eagerly asking how many more were available, insisting he would trade anything for them. He enthusiastically declared it was fantastic, praising the city lord's impressive skills. He grinned and asked what goods she wanted to trade. He expressed his desire to trade for a zombie core, an evolution potion, and some gold. He questioned the city lord about the gold, while another character leaned in to whisper the details. He grinned widely, offering to trade since he had plenty of gold. He commanded the guards to lead the man downstairs to count supplies and retrieve the items he sought for trade, receiving an affirmative response. He requested the city lord for another favor, determination in his eyes. He raised an eyebrow, curious, and asked what was going on. A girl stole medicine and was caught. He hoped they'd release her, offering triple the value for the supplies. He asked if that was true, and she confirmed it. He revealed that the thief was already imprisoned by the chief, surrounded by a table of food. He pondered thoughtfully, replying that with triple compensation, he wouldn't experience any loss. He mentioned that after the trade, his guards would escort him to the justice office to release the girl. He gratefully acknowledged the city lord, expressing thanks with enthusiasm. He listed the supplies traded: 10 kilograms of gold, 100 zombie cores, and 2 evolution potions. He expressed gratitude while handing over the box. He proudly announced he now had 100 zombie cores for upgrades, confirming with a smile that the number was correct. He also thought about selling the gold. He expressed uncertainty about the selling price but confidently declared he was set to make a fortune this time. He reminded his friend to keep the release order from the city lord, promising to take him to the justice office. He wondered where Xiao Yunlin had gone, reminding his friend that he was supposed to wait at the main gate. He wondered why so many people were gathered at the justice office entrance. He demanded everyone move aside, questioning why they crowded there, noting the mine wasn't providing enough work. He planned to approach the city lord the next day, suggesting a proposal to increase their workload, while people began to scatter around them. He calmly suggested to let them be, emphasizing a sense of detachment in his demeanor. He expressed surprise, revealing he was the one who summoned them here. He declared it was time for everyone to witness the consequences of stealing from the city lord, urging them to take a good look. He explained that survival in the post-apocalyptic world relied on the city's lord, emphasizing that everything belonged to him while warning against unauthorized use. He expressed that it was a capital offense, highlighting the seriousness of the situation. He grimaced in frustration, demanding to know what kind of joke this was. He expressed rage, angered by someone he referred to as a bastard, and seemed ready to confront them. He angrily confronted another, questioning the value of a human life, while insisting that she only took the medicine to help her family. He hadn't seen her before and concluded she was a merchant come to trade. He felt a tug as she pulled away, realizing she wasn't ready, saying, with a hint of frustration in his voice. He threatened to forgive him this time, reminding him he was an outsider in the city while gripping his shoulder tightly. The Chief Justice learned of a new merchant from outside, who was greeted by another, urging forgiveness for any errors. He asked if the woman accompanied them as well. He called out for Xiao Yunlin, his expression tense and determined, as bruises marked her face and sweat dripped down her brow. He looked anxious, with a furrowed brow, questioning what transpired. He learned that she was captured while attempting to infiltrate the prison, standing bound before him as the guards loomed behind her. She realized the girl was furious over her actions, feeling conflicted about whether to let her go. He considered executing her directly as she glared at him fiercely, determined yet vulnerable. He urged the Chief Justice to remain calm, while another insisted that killing the two meant the city lord would miss out on his favorite foods. He stated that they only needed to keep one person alive. He commanded the system to activate all the zombie cores. A notification confirmed the power-up was complete, showing skill points under 200. He wondered how many upgrades he could make with his skill points, currently at 202, before deciding to upgrade now. He confirmed the recovery, losing 50 skill points, leaving him with 44 skill points. He thought this guy could kill Xiao Yunlin for real. If he could easily capture Xiao Yunlin, his strength must be immense. He wondered if the Doom Bullet could take him down, but it might hurt others. He decided that using extreme speed was the best way to escape the city with Xiao Yunlin, believing his leveled-up abilities would help them both. He thought it was excellent and proposed they make a break for it in one go, while carrying Xiao Yunlin in his arms. He excitedly exclaimed that his climbing skill could now last longer than before. He called out to Qin Shuang, assuring her they should escape first. He felt overwhelmed, exclaiming his exhaustion, and declared they should be far enough to avoid being pursued. He sighed in relief, expressing regret to Qin Shuang for dragging her into this situation. He insisted it wasn't her fault, showing deep regret for his presence earlier. She anxiously lamented her weakness, wishing she could have held them off longer. She wondered if Chief Justice Kichi was truly powerful, to which he confidently affirmed that Kichi must be a level 5 evolver. He questioned if a level 5 evolver was truly powerful, his uncertainty evident as he furrowed his brows. She explained that evolvers begin at level 1 and progress slowly, emphasizing the challenge of breaking through each level. It took her 10 years to advance. She noted that every faction has its own high-level evolvers for protection, but level 5 evolvers remain quite rare. Some think level 10 warriors can easily destroy a city in one move. He acknowledged that even in the apocalypse, strong individuals exist, reflecting on his hopes of dominating the world through the system. He noticed someone flying through the air, surprising him and his companion in the lush forest. She shouted a warning, her blue hair framing her intense expression, urging everyone to be cautious. He relentlessly attacked, fists raining down with furious intensity, while the sound of bang, bang echoed around them. He smirked, grasping the red-haired boy's head, questioning if he had permission to leave. He lay still, blood pooling around him, eyes obscured by darkness. With a swift strike, he hit her side, causing a sharp reaction, as tension electrified the air. With a fierce resolve, she demanded to be released, while her opponent remained unyielding, intensifying the tension in the dense forest. As liquid poured into his mouth, he experienced a strange sensation, feeling the bubbles gurgle with an intense sparkle. He screamed in agony, his body glowing intensely as he struggled. Qin Shuang panicked, his face wet with sweat, as he confronted her about drinking the evolution potion. He laughed loudly, his expression full of glee and mischief. He groaned in pain, clutching his stomach, while she looked on, concerned yet determined. He mocked, claiming the opponent preferred self-destruction over admitting defeat. Laughing, he compared their struggle to a dying bug making its last desperate attempt. He questioned Qin Shuang about his constant fighting. The teachers urged him to get along with classmates, but Qin Shuang insisted he would retaliate if bullied. He angrily shouted at his opponent, "Screw you," as he slapped him, displaying his frustration. He angrily confronted his friend, urging him to stop fighting at school. Frustrated, he asked if his words meant nothing and whether he couldn't just stop embarrassing him. He expressed his frustration, claiming he was born but never raised correctly. He told Qin Shuang to stop coming to work tomorrow. Confused, Qin Shuang asked manager Zhang what he had done wrong. He questioned why she always interfered, stating it was normal for the boss to encourage female staff to drink more. He told her to mind her own business. She protested against his grasp, demanding he let go. He responded suggestively, inviting her to stay and enjoy themselves, claiming it would be their treat. He glared at his friends, demanding to know what they were doing to her, concern etched on his face and tension filling the air. He shouted for them to stop interfering and urged them to fight back as the atmosphere turned tense. He shouted in frustration to let him go, as a swift strike echoed in the tense atmosphere. He warned that if they stayed, the police would arrive, while another character reluctantly agreed to leave. One character angrily warned the other not to cross paths again as they walked away into the darkness. He expressed his gratitude, saying he really appreciated her help while she stood close, her demeanor alluring in the dim light. She urged him to go to the hospital for treatment, but he insisted it was just a scrape. She advised him to hurry home, warning that the area wasn't safe. She urged him to wait, her grip on his shoulder firm and desperate. She noticed his suitcase and asked if he had nowhere to stay, offering her apartment and inviting him to come with her. He admitted he was searching for a place and asked how much her rent was. She reassured him, saying the rent was very affordable. He remarked that, like a dead dog, the evolution has failed. Haunted by endless memories, he reflects on the evolution potion's poor odds, noting that they've tried many times yet remain unable to succeed. He asks if the food is good, and she enthusiastically praises his cooking, suggesting it's restaurant-worthy, while he expresses he could eat it daily. She promises to make his favorite dish daily if he desires it. She recalls getting a cake from the popular dessert shop today. She asks about the taste, and he replies it's delicious, noting the pastry chef's prestigious award. She expresses her desire to become a pastry chef, while questioning if that's really correct. She asks him, curious, what's going on as she looks concerned. He thinks he might have forgotten something, looking serious. He questions her intentions, and she defiantly insists he should act if he wishes to harm her, worried that it will bring serious consequences. He comments on her beauty but threatens to harm her tendons if needed, promising to present them to the Lord as a toy. He angrily declares she isn't allowed to leave, his fierce expression revealing determination. He angrily grips her clothing, expressing his frustration with determination, shouting, "Clutch," as he refuses to let her go. The impact sends debris flying as the ground shakes violently, illustrating the intensity of the attack. In a serene forest, he kneels by the lifeless body, blood on his hands, calling out to Qin Shuang with despair. He stands covered in blood, reflecting on his transformation, as the words, "You have successfully evolved," surround him, emphasizing his drastic change. She smiles woefully, asking if he thought he had already transformed. He chuckles softly, confidently claiming he isn't easy to kill. He grunts in pain while blood spills as the character attacks, revealing a fierce determination in the forest. He, bloodied and bruised, declares success in his evolution. He, bloodied and bruised, reflects on his opponent's confidence, questioning if evolving is sufficient to secure victory. He grimaces in pain as the rumble of tension surrounds him, contemplating his next move. He realizes with horror, this is, as blood stains his face. He exclaims in disbelief about the golden abyssal physique, feeling it's impossible as his eyes glow fiercely. He expresses disbelief about the golden abyssal physique, unsure how it's possible, recognizing it resembles the one he saw before. He conjures a small, glowing flame at his fingertip, exclaiming, "Fire." The atmosphere buzzes with energy as he showcases his power. He looks pained, his face marred by cracks, revealing vulnerability. He demands to know what's happening, sensing an intense energy approaching from 10 miles outside the city, while members of the Earth Construction Alliance stand behind him. He expresses surprise, wondering which powerful figure is approaching. His ally panics, asking what's wrong, while another member of Faction 17 acknowledges the intense force. He asks if she feels the strange presence, while she contemplates quietly, indicating something significant is about to happen. He shouts for Qin Shuang to wait, assuring her he will help quickly. The forest backdrop adds a sense of urgency and tension. He reacts in shock, realizing something is being covered on his chest, as a hand gently applies a cloth to the area. She smiles in relief, telling him that the bleeding has stopped. He carries Qin Shuang, urging her to hang on and promising to take her to a doctor right away. He notices the aura has vanished, standing alone in the forest. He ponders why a powerful evolver would be near him, worried he might have offended them, and asserts that as a businessman, he rarely provokes high-level evolvers. He hears loud thumping noises and a voice urging him to hurry and open the door. She rushes toward the door as the sound of a loud bang echoes, displaying urgency and surprise. She winces in pain, exclaiming, "Ouch," while he kneels beside her, concern written on his face. She angrily accuses Xiao Yunlin of needing to pay for the broken door, her glasses reflecting the light as she clutches her hair, surprised. She urgently urges for help to save someone, her expression intense and determined, as she sweatily clings to the person behind her. She urgently examines the wounded man, expressing uncertainty about Qin Shuang's condition, deciding to bandage his wounds for now. She touches her glasses thoughtfully, noting the metal saved his life, while wondering at the strange way these wounds were treated. She anxiously asks if that means he will be okay. She insists the situation is very odd, while another woman suggests keeping him under observation for a few days. He asks to be punched a few times, surprising the others. He jokes with the boss, asking how they could hit him. He grins, provocatively suggesting that if he's bullied, they should seek revenge and let off some steam by beating him up. He reassures them with a grin, declaring he won't take revenge if they choose to hit him. He grimaces, recalling his words about not taking revenge, yet they hit him anyway. He vows, "Just you wait." He smiles, asking Dr. Zhao to treat his wounds quickly after another injury. He smiles, explaining to Dr. Zhao that his job makes it easy to get hurt. She sighs, noting his frequent visits this month. She gasps, surprised to see him, while he watches her closely. He accuses Xiao Yunlin of killing many of his friends, threatening her with vengeance. He threatens Xiao Yunlin, vowing to prepare a zombie food offering for his brothers during their next encounter. She wonders how he arrived there, questioning if Faction 17 has a medical facility. She worries that if he discovers their presence, he will alert others. She knows she needs to leave before he contacts the faction. She mentions a patient in another room and asks him to let her treat his wounds, to which he responds, agreeing to come. He informs her he cannot be moved right now, while she urges to put him down, expressing urgency to leave. He stands at the door, visibly injured and silent, as determination shines in his eyes. He passionately urges to load it up, as he readies his weapon. He questions her actions, while she pushes him away, feeling startled. He angrily tells Dr. Zhao that those two have slain many of his brothers and insists he's going to kill them. She asserts she has already sent the signal. Their faction brothers are closing in, insisting he cannot escape. Angrily, she vows to skin him alive. She yells urgently that he cannot harm anyone in her clinic and insists that the person in danger is her patient. She warns him fiercely never to consider getting her assistance again if he harms anyone. Fiercely determined, she asserts she will not permit anyone to harm her patients, emphasizing her seriousness in the matter. He understands her warning, promising not to harm her patients. She questions his sincerity, showing her protective nature. He reluctantly agrees to give them more time while assuring he will secure the area around them. He guarantees that stepping out of the clinic means her end. He realizes his achievement, exclaiming his disbelief in being alive. Having evolved into a perfect first-level evolver with energy gathering, he reflects on the cost. He questions about the 3 years of his life lost. Unconsciously, he used his instinct to activate his energy gathering talent, defeating a stronger opponent, realizing the personal cost. He reflects on how unexpected evolution into a powerful form was. He questions who is speaking. A voice reminds him that challenges strengthen one's resolve. He demands to know who is speaking, frustrated about receiving this system. A hopeful voice assures him they will meet at the end of the road. He feels amazed by the doctor's claim about his rapid healing, while she expresses her disbelief at such quick recovery, noting his unique condition. She worries, questioning why Qin Shuang hasn't awakened yet. She thinks logically he should have awakened by now, wondering if he needs a little stimulation to wake up. A frantic yellow chick squawks, flapping its wings, surrounded by broken eggs, clearly distressed. He questioned her actions, wondering if she was a freak, while her friend laughed at the unexpected situation. She smiled knowingly, commenting on how spirited he looked, urging him to get dressed first. He asked if the people from Faction 17 had already surrounded the area, while she affirmed it. She normally could defeat Shasong, a fellow third-level evolver, but lamented about suffering a serious injury impacting her internal organs. He declared that those scoundrels would pay, stating he was going out to deal with them. He insisted on accompanying her, but she urged him to focus on healing. He confidently claimed he could handle any challenge alone, reassuring her with a thumbs up. He confidently rejected the idea of rushing in and insisted he would keep his promise to Dr. Zhao, urging everyone to stay put. He suggested they could wait to kill someone, ensuring Dr. Zhao would not be blamed for their actions. He excitedly agreed, claiming the plan would work perfectly. He was eager to get started. He smiled mischievously, suggesting they capture the girl alive while asking Brother Song about his pursuit of Dr. Zhao. A loud bang echoed as a figure demanded to be let in, startling the crowd gathered behind him. He looked puzzled, saying, "Huh?" as uncertainty crossed his face. He, Qin Shuang, confidently declared there was no need for anyone else to join him. He, confident despite the threats, faced the hostile boys. They commanded to capture him and harm him severely. He sighed in relief, wearing a black shirt with Shuang written on it, lightning crackling around him. He focused intensely, showcasing his perfect evolver level 1 stats, combat power 400, speed 7, strength 20, and a 90% chance of victory. He felt the electric tension in the air as fists collided, punctuated by the sounds of impact. The atmosphere crackled with energy. He wondered how this situation could have possibly happened, observing the chaos around him as others moved in confusion. He remarked to the person behind him that last time they met, they were merely an ordinary low-level human, questioning how they gained power. He taunted the person behind him, saying that if they had used weapons, they'd be dead by now, but he was willing to consider giving them another chance. He presented a dish, suggesting she take a look and see if it was what she sought. He happily declared it was the gold he desired as he handed over cans in exchange. He expressed gratitude while leaving, promising that assistance in finding gold would always secure cans in return. He frowned, puzzled by the kid's obsession with gold, wondering if zombie cores were the real currency now. He exclaimed excitedly, claiming they had struck it rich with 20 kilograms of gold. He focused on packing more supplies, reminding her to be careful on the road. He jumped out of bed, startled by the loud banging, wearing a shirt that said, Shuang. He wondered who it was knocking, feeling annoyed and confused, as he turned toward the door. She called out for Qin Shuang, her expression filled with urgency as she rushed forward. She felt anxious, asking him why he seemed rushed, while he questioned her absence, noting her lack of response to his calls. He explained he had been busy and couldn't call her, apologizing profusely as she listened, visibly concerned. She scolded him for leaving suddenly, saying he almost made her call the police and demanding a warning next time. He scratched his head in confusion, murmuring that he understood the situation. He offered a gift as an apology, while she looked confused. She firmly expressed her desire not to accept any gifts, noting his financial struggles and advising against spending. He assured her not to worry about his finances, stating he had saved up. Excitedly, he suggested they go shopping and encouraged her to choose anything she wanted. He noted that the store was pricey and suggested to Qin Shuang they look elsewhere. Meanwhile, she remarked that the styles were all quite nice. He urged her to quickly choose what she liked, claiming he had enough money for hundreds. She marveled at how Qin Shuang earned so much. He asked the staff to show him the best merchandise, while she stood by, waiting. The staff confirmed, stating they would assist him momentarily. He suggested she try on the beautiful jewelry, while she smiled, allowing him to place it around her neck. He expressed his happiness about her liking the jewelry, and she promised to love it since it was from him. He decided to choose the jewelry and asked the attendant to wrap it up, to which she replied respectfully. He told her to wait while he quickly went to the bank to deposit some items, assuring her he would be right back. He asked the bank employee if they bought gold, to which she confirmed. He then inquired about the quantity he could sell. He showed the jacket, prompting surprised reactions from two men. This much, he stated, indicating the item with concern and curiosity. He sat on the couch, casually saying he's fine while waiting. The other man, impressed, addressed him as Mr. Chin, apologizing for the delay. He inquired if he could inspect the gold brought along. The other man responded it was in the bag and suggested he take a look. He confidently stated that the purity could be tested, mentioning it weighed 20 kilograms and questioned its cash equivalent. He gestured toward the paper, stating that signing it would finalize everything. He walked away, asking the manager about the payment for 20 kilograms of gold. He confidently stated that the 20 kilograms of gold exceeded 99.6% purity, totaling 6.6 million in cash. She demanded he take off whatever he was wearing, while another woman insisted he let her go. She demanded her necklace back, while the other girl questioned if she had even paid for it. The girl with pink hair angrily accused another of stealing her necklace, while the surprised guy questioned the commotion. The girl handed money to the shop assistant, insisting it was for the necklace without needing change. He declared he would buy the gem with gold, catching everyone's attention. He revealed that this gold could create over a dozen of that necklace, catching her attention with the shimmering gem in his hand. Pointing fiercely, she insisted it was hers after he claimed the gold was a fake. She apologized, explaining the necklace was already reserved, so despite her offer, it couldn't be sold to her. He urged her to accept the item he offered. She gritted her teeth, vowing to address the couple's behavior with a fierce determination. She insisted they go to the market to buy groceries, and he agreed enthusiastically. As he stood there, a can suddenly struck him, making a loud clang. With a mocking sound, he declared, "It must be this kid," as a group of bald men surrounded him. He pointed angrily at the duo, shouting they were the despicable couple who stole his girl's necklace. She echoed his outrage, yelling at the two brats. He warned the group that they were asking for trouble, as another character demanded they beat up the duo for him. He questioned her confusion, asking where the group had gone. He questioned her confusion, asking what was wrong with the others. She suggested they might have gone mad, urging him to leave quickly. The cashier cheerfully asked for 5 yuan 60. He thanked her, calling her auntie. She anxiously questioned Uncle Zhao about his actions, worry evident in her voice. She angrily confronted him, demanding to know how he knew she was there and accusing him of putting a tracker in her phone. He urgently asked if she had forgotten her promise to her dad, insisting, "Come home with me." He sternly insisted that Xiao Shui did not wish to return, urging him to just leave instead. He sternly questioned the kid, expressing disbelief that someone like him is entirely unworthy of Xiao Shui. He expressed concern about her father already searching for a suitable fiancé, stating that once found, they would marry immediately. She looked worried. He reminded her of her father's warning about consequences for misbehavior. She looked startled as she absorbed his serious tone. She informed him eagerly that she arranged a plan to eliminate someone by chopping him up and disposing of his body in the river. She acknowledged his fear and decided to return with him. He called out for her to stop as she walked away with him. He asked if getting rich would allow Xiao Shui to join him. He scoffed, questioning her about the over 6 million in her account. He advised the kid to stop dreaming and suggested talking again once he could earn 600 million a year. He clenched his fists, contemplating the daunting goal of 600 million. He exclaimed that the goal is 600 million, his expression intense and determined. He called out to Xiao Shui, promising that he would earn 600 million and take her along. He asked if the dark crystals were found, to which the other confirmed their existence, revealing the Earth Alliance's demand for 1,000. He exclaimed in shock at the demand, wondering how his assets could even amount to that much, and angrily claimed they were trying to drain him. He pondered, reflecting on their statement about affordable options, while the other man stood by, confident there were many buyers. He felt the price was outrageous, but believed that if he bought it and offered it, cooperation would follow. He just needed to get his help. He understood the order and confidently asserted his decision, declaring he would take the item, while the other character responded affirmatively. He returned with a triumphant smile, declaring he was back, carrying bulky items and bags. She was impressed by the much larger haul he had compared to before, while another girl looked on silently. He proudly announced he had collected rice, flour, meat, eggs, and milk, showcasing his impressive haul. She questioned why he brought so much flour, surprised by the amount. He explained he brought flour to make desserts for her. He recalled her wish to become a pastry chef. She expressed her frustration at his focus, insisting her mission was to protect him, while he questioned how she had time for desserts. He urged her to rest and heal, concerned about her injuries, while she blushed, caught off guard by his closeness. He offered to join her for a business run, and she eagerly expressed her gratitude, excited by the idea. She expressed surprise at his offer, while he seemed confused. Ruo Yu questioned what she was plotting, while her friend expressed disbelief, asking if she truly thought her sister could be so sinister. Feeling embarrassed about being given things for free, Ruo Yu decided to fully cooperate with Qin Shuang when going out. As Ruo Yu approached Base 104 in the military vehicle, he felt a mix of anticipation and curiosity about what awaited him inside the fortress. As they walked through the narrow entrance to the base, he questioned why it was so tight, noting it was defensively advantageous against zombies and enemy attacks. As they entered, he instructed the others to lift in the heavy wooden crate, emphasizing their task's urgency. He questioned if this was the treasure, urging to open it for a closer inspection. He questioned if this was it, wondering why it felt like just an ordinary stone stick and if it could be a fake. He realized the stick was poisonous and panicked, stating that even an evolved being would succumb to its effects within minutes. He realized that even a level 5 evolver could only withstand the stick's toxicity for 15 minutes, expressing concern over its high toxicity. He asked if his companion had confirmed the item's authenticity while standing with his hands behind his back. He revealed that 5 non-evolved individuals were tested, mutating instantly upon contact with the stick, their monstrous forms illuminated in the dark. He complimented someone, saying they handled the situation well. Another person expressed confidence when taking charge. The commander looked surprised when informed about 2 traders wanting to exchange goods. He mentioned that 2 traders carried a large bag of canned food, appearing quite affluent. The commander's surprise was evident in his expression. He exclaimed that it was a real lifesaver, admitting he was out of money. He added that the money magnet was approaching, urging to get ready. He expressed concern about their lack of preparation, while she pondered a quick way to earn money, noting their level 3 status for safety. He excitedly welcomed his friends from distant lands, apologizing for the wait. He mentioned hearing about the great items for trade, while she asked to see them. He presented everything in the bag gleaming with anticipation. He exclaimed how incredible it was, realizing one can held immense value. Together, the 2 bags were estimated to contain over 100 cans. He asked what they wanted to exchange, and they replied that zombie cores, gold, or jewels would be acceptable. He questioned why she was closing the door, looking surprised. He confidently stated that he only wished to properly discuss the price with them, surrounded by others in uniform. He commanded his team to capture everyone, flanked by fellow officers who energetically moved forward, each of them determined and ready for action. He yelled at Qin Shuang, urging her to run, as concern etched on her face, her hair swirling as she reacted urgently. She wondered why people in the apocalypse were always like this, wishing to do business peacefully. He exclaimed in surprise as a bolt of energy narrowly missed him and his friend leapt aside, barely dodging the attack. He planned to enhance his grip strength for easier climbing, focused as he tore fabric in concentration. He felt his leg strength surge as he kicked the wall, showcasing his incredible speed. As he exerted himself, his movements became incredibly precise, allowing him to target and apply force with remarkable accuracy. In an instant, he decisively strikes his opponent, confident in his speed and skill, declaring his intention to finish the fight quickly. She gasps, realizing the immense power of Qin Shuang, feeling both awed and intimidated. He laughs nervously, insisting it's a misunderstanding while appearing anxious. He cries out in pain, pleading for his brother to stop hitting him, admitting he realizes his mistake. With a sigh, he expresses reluctance, questioning why he must act this way, revealing his discomfort in handling the situation. He nervously promises to provide what's needed, insisting on a straightforward trade. She angrily confronts him, questioning how he expects them to trade after attempting to kill and rob them. He insists he will keep trading supplies with her. She questions Qin Shuang's trust in him, warning that he could betray her at any moment. He realizes they are surrounded by deceitful enemies but believes that if they reveal their true intentions, everything will become considerably simpler. He smiles broadly, assuring them that he holds nothing but respect for masters like them, claiming he dares not think any bad thoughts. He gestures eagerly, inviting them to view the supplies for exchange. He urges his friend to check out the mysterious box. He questions his friend about a broken stick, frustrated that it's not the supply he requested. He admits to spending all his money on the stick, explaining that he had to resort to stealing to survive. Life has been tough for him. He insists the stick is unique, claiming it can enhance damage and even defeat higher-level evolvers if he dares to try. He expresses curiosity, wondering aloud if it truly is that powerful. He grins, tauntingly warning that in just 5 seconds, bare hands on the stick will curse with corpse poison. He challenges, asking if she's ready to fight. He smirks wickedly, declaring ominously that she is dead. He looks up, confused, as the other asks what's wrong. He smiles nervously, suggesting it's better for her to test the weapon herself. He hesitates, but the red-haired character insists that she should try the weapon, urging her with confidence. He looks nervous as the red-haired character insists, "Take it," confidently offering the weapon wrapped in a yellow ribbon. He looks terrified as he exclaims, "No, not," while gripping tightly onto a yellow object. He insists again, pointing with intensity, urging to grab the stick with one's hand. He questions her courage, mocking her fear as he stands confidently, dressed in a shirt labeled Shuang, while she crouches before him, apprehensive. He expresses frustration, stating he offered another chance to cooperate, but she failed to appreciate it. He warns her not to blame him since that's the situation. She urges Qin Shuang to take action against him with intensity. He gasps in pain, pleading for mercy while being choked, tears falling down his face. With a sly smile, he remarks, "Holding someone's life in your hands feels pretty good, right?" He glances with satisfaction, enjoying the power balance. He instructs Ruo Yu to gather her things as they prepare to leave. A man coughs on the ground, seemingly affected, while she looks puzzled. He realizes they were previously attacked, expressing frustration about not eliminating the threat. An annoyed character with horns shows anger as they discuss the situation. She suggests painless ways to kill him, asking why not poison or behead him, showcasing her dark humor. He sternly demands that she stop talking, showing his frustration. A tense atmosphere hangs between them. He decides to take the stick, viewing it as compensation for the attempted murder. He accuses Qin Shuang of being a coward for not being able to kill anyone, despite her skills, labeling her a useless saint. He turns around, calling out to them, urging them to wait. He anxiously asks if they can save their base, beads of sweat forming on his brow. He questions whether they believe they are some sort of charity, his expression a mix of disbelief and annoyance while she looks concerned. She urges him to agree to assist, promising he can take all the supplies from the base afterward. He expresses urgency, stating they are at their wits' end and warns that if help doesn't arrive, the base will be destroyed soon. She questions him, teasingly implying he's asking for trouble, while he anxiously denies it. He explains that to get a level 5 evolver's help, they sent numerous supplies, but they still demand more, forcing them to resort to robbery. He asks them to follow him, assuring that they will understand once they see it. He points at the pit, excitedly urging them to take a look. She stands close, intrigued by what lies ahead. He points at the pit, asking if she sees the bodies there. He explained that the bodies were from their base, lost in just one day. His comrade, shocked, questioned the large number and asked who was responsible. He mentioned that they lose dozens of people daily, emphasizing that outsiders are not responsible. He observed the fortress from above, stating it belonged to their base leader. He stressed the need to burn the bodies daily to stop disease spread. He warned that approaching would expose one to the nauseating scent of charred flesh. She questioned if her leader was insane, warning that if he continued killing daily, soon everyone in their base would be dead. He agreed, stating he had decided to seize power and lock up the leader. He asked if that was the reason she spent so much money searching for a level 5 evolver, and she confirmed with a simple, yes. He stated that one level 5 evolver isn't enough. They needed at least 3 together because their leader required them. He questioned if she was a level 7 evolver, blood splattering in the intense moment. He grimly declared that everyone must die, a chilling intensity surrounding him. He noted that among the gathered group, he sensed no third level 5 evolver. He confronted Captain Lee, questioning if he was trying to deceive them, feeling tension in the atmosphere. He insisted that there was no deception, urging to explain. He claimed they didn't have a level 5 evolver but had someone who could transcend levels. He looked shocked and questioned, "What?" while his companion observed, concerned. He asked if it was her, noting her level as a level 4 evolver, while another character confidently stated she could win. He asserted he wasn't the right person, stating he wasn't a super evolver. He clarified that the guy next to him was Qin Shuang, who was very strong. He questioned if Qin Shuang could truly defeat a level S evolver, and he revealed that he had beaten one before. He laughed heartily, declaring it to be an utterly ridiculous joke. He warned Captain Lee that he had been deceived by the kid standing nearby. He laughed mockingly at the idea that the kid could surpass level 47, while others nearby looked on with varying expressions of disbelief. He smirked, recalling his last victory over a level 5 evolver was mostly luck, and stated his uncertainty in surpassing levels. He suggested having a match. He stared intently, stating that if he lost, he would quit. He smiled confidently, promising to reward her with 100 cans of food, waiting for her response. He gripped the metal bar tightly, wearing toxin-blocking gloves made from special fabric. He raised his hands in a calming gesture, warning the two not to waste their energy prematurely. He added to just forget about it. He remarked that if he couldn't demonstrate surpassing level 4, he was leaving. He noted that to defeat a level 7 evolver, teamwork is crucial. He expressed the need for reassurance before risking his life. He urged the tall opponent to clarify first, emphasizing it was a competition and advising against going for the kill. He declared he understood and promised not to kill recklessly. He raised the red flag, signaling the start of the competition. He was shocked, realizing the punch was incredibly strong, making his hand numb. He realized it was incredibly fast and had to use his ultimate skill immediately. He exclaimed in frustration at the agile young fighter, impressed that he could dodge all his punches with such skill. He shouted that the young fighter was far from surpassing level 4, while the fighter swiftly dodged and shot lightning bolts, urging to hide. He exclaimed in shock about the shattered stone floor, wondering if they were all level 55 monsters. He urged his opponent to stop dodging and take his punch, but his opponent complained that taking the hit would mean his demise. He realized there was an opening in his opponent's defense and prepared to strike. He warned his opponent to hold tight, ready to knock the wind out with one strike. He unleashed a powerful strike, causing a loud clang as it impacted, leaving both fighters focused and ready for more. He smirked, asking how it felt to be unable to speak, then declared this was his ultimate move, the Bloodline Annihilator. He excitedly asked Bullseye if his older brother was already married, eager for an answer. He reassured someone not to worry, explaining that his older brother could easily deflect the attack due to his ability to harden his body. He expressed concern about the staff's poison, questioning if his brother's ability would protect him. He watched in shock as the attack was deflected, leaving his opponent stumbling back. He swiftly kicked his opponent down, delivering a powerful, decisive blow. He declared that his opponent had lost as he lay defeated on the ground, surrounded by rubble. He remarked on the impressive ability of the opponent, noting his speed and accuracy as a level 1 evolver. He added that defeating lower-level evolvers was not significant. He criticized his opponent for relying solely on brute force without technique and advised him to go home and practice more. He urged his second brother to leave, while another questioned their departure. He reassured them, saying they would return for a true level 5 evolver, while another remarked on the kid's inadequate skills, warning he'd be in danger against their intense leader. He chuckled mischievously, agreeing with the other character's remark. He commented that the kid was utterly useless, while Captain Lee expressed that he should have been called instead, mentioning his missing stick and gloves. He laughed, calling it a waste, and told the kid not to use the stick like that. He was shocked, exclaiming that a zombie had spoken, while the figure behind him appeared calm. He initially screamed in surprise, realizing the figure was a living human, not a corpse. The grim figure questioned what he was staring at. He excitedly shouted Hao Junmei's name, asking if he had done something. He insisted he wasn't there for them, but rather for the lovely stick, having searched for so long to finally get it. He insisted the stick was a gift from Captain Lee, catching the others' confused attention. He questioned Captain Lee, stating a kid claimed the stick belonged to him. The atmosphere turned tense as everyone awaited Captain Lee's response. He smiled slyly, stating he bought the stick for Hao Junmei with a lot of money. As long as they helped, the stick would be his. He laughed mischievously, saying he would happily accept it, while the other character looked on, surprised. Brother Shuang looked furious while the other character cheerfully suggested they stay and help, promising an even better weapon afterwards. One character, looking serious, listened as another cheerfully offered to stay and help on one specific condition. After it's settled, he insists that all trade at her base must be channeled through him, wanting to be her exclusive supplier. He expresses doubt about her base's trade, but his supplies are plentiful, and he offers them in exchange for some useless gold. He believes this arrangement benefits them both, and after shaking hands, she agrees to his request. He asks his brother if he's all right, and his brother replies that he's just fine, simply readjusting himself. He expresses gratitude to everyone for their help, then states he will share the plan and welcomes any suggestions. He smiles, inviting everyone to begin with introductions. Feng Wu introduces himself as a level 9 evolver, stating he has abilities that make him bulletproof, while sharing personal details like his height and hobbies. Fang Wen introduces himself as a level 9 evolver, revealing his ability to instantly freeze anything he touches, along with his height, hobbies, zodiac sign, and preference for plump women. Hao Junmei introduces himself as a level 5 evolver, excitedly revealing his ability and expressing his fondness for toxic staff. Xiao Ruoyu introduces himself as a level 2 evolver with a brain simulation ability, while a curious question hangs in the air about the unusual introductions. He begins to explain the capture plan, stating that their leader, Yi Yi, is a level 7 evolver at the bottleneck stage, with the ability to liquefy his body. He explains that capturing Yi Yi is difficult due to his troublesome ability. His plan involves luring him into a secret room first. He explains brother Hao Junmei will use gas to paralyze Yi Yi, while Fang Wu, Qin Shuang, and their brothers will restrain him. Fang Wen intends to freeze him. He declares they will activate the mechanism and trap him in the prepared sealed chamber as a loud bang echoes. He mentions that his special ability is discovered while she giggles. He inquires about when she intends to execute the plan. He emphasizes the urgency, stating they cannot afford more losses and plans to execute the capture strategy tomorrow. He stood tense, sweat beading on his brow, while his rival loomed behind him, suggesting an impending confrontation. He glared intensely, questioning Li if he intended to kill him. He warned Captain Li to retreat, as water whirled threateningly around him. He exclaimed in panic as the water suddenly obstructed him, feeling trapped and desperate. He laughed, thanking his little brother for saving him, then warned, "Don't touch my face." He felt relief mixed with annoyance as bolts of energy crackled around them. He landed a powerful blow against his opponent, creating a swirl of energy as he advanced, with tension filling the air. He exclaimed in disbelief, realizing the attack had breached his defenses. He confidently declared that his rotation could penetrate anything, determination radiating from his intense gaze. He swiftly struck his opponent, the power of his attack evident in the bright sparks and chaos around them. He scolded his opponent to stop looking around and focused, while splashes of water surrounded them, emphasizing the tension of the moment. He delivered a powerful strike amidst splashing water, emphasizing the intensity of their confrontation. He shouted that he had scattered his form, feeling triumphant and ready. The intense atmosphere surrounded him, highlighting the dramatic moment. He urged his friend to push forward, seizing their opportunity. He huffed in exertion as he pushed through the icy waters, the sound of cracking ice echoing around him. He jumped back in surprise as a loud bang erupted, water splashing violently around him. One character anxiously asked if he was dead, while another urgently responded that he wasn't, explaining how his freezing effect had dispersed. He urgently instructed his team to watch the door and prevent anyone from escaping. They wondered anxiously what he was doing, staring at the mysterious figure in the darkness. He anxiously exclaimed that Yi Yi was about to use that move. He shouted for everyone to get behind the shield wall as chaos erupted around them. He called out for the captain as blood splattered around. He shouted for everyone to hide, asserting he could manage the pressure as water jets weakened against him. He called out as powerful water jets surged, exploding around him. He exclaimed with relief that they made it through, but warned that using this move would exhaust a lot of his energy. He said he would remain in liquid form for 10 seconds, urging Fang Wen to freeze him. He called out to Qin Shuang to send him over as he was carried by his friend, who assured him he understood. He shouted 10 seconds as determination burned in his eyes, thinking he must completely freeze his opponent within that time. He exclaimed in surprise, thrilled that his plan succeeded. His expression shifted from anxiety to relief. He watched in astonishment as the powerful energy sphere cracked, feeling both awe and anticipation. He panicked as he realized that the water flow was accelerating, causing the freezing effect to diminish. He grinned, whispering reassuringly while creeping closer, too ominous to resist. "He can't escape," he sneered, sending chills down the other's spine. He noted that the liquid was too dispersed for his toxin to spread throughout the opponent's body, but it was convenient in this state. He grinned sinisterly, revealing his sharp teeth, as he proclaimed that the toxin would make his opponent sleep forever. He anxiously reported that the plan succeeded, but the leader was in trouble. The entity was defeated, leaving only remnants of its shattered form, enveloped in swirling purple and gray hues. In the grand hall, two figures approach the lavish table, calling out, "Hubbub," as a magnificent chandelier looms above. He excitedly announced the celebration of their battle victory, expressing gratitude for the support that led to the base's breakthrough. He shared their gratitude by announcing a variety of delicious food prepared for the celebration, while another character noted the taste was surprisingly good. He stated that good food and beautiful women go together. Another character called out for someone to come out. He pondered the choice between plump or slender women, while two characters stood before him, confidently presenting their different styles. He contemplated his choice while two women posed confidently, one in a red dress and the other in a pale gown, inviting him to decide. Excited, he declared that they wouldn't hold back, accompanied by two enthusiastic friends showing their support. He playfully promised to feed her, while two friends laughed mischievously, deepening the lively atmosphere. She asked if he was the hero of their base, surprised by his youth. She smirked, thinking men were all the same while observing the group with disdain. Concerned about the drunken state, he insisted they should be taken back to their rooms. Concerned, he helped the two women, urging them to open the door amid the loud knocking. He one-handedly tumbles in bed, overwhelmed by a sudden noise and exclaims, "Oh!" after a loud boom interrupts his morning. She admires how cute he is, noting he's already tipsy from just a little drink. Her friend agrees, saying he's just her type. She jokes that he must feel uncomfortable, all sweaty. Her friend comments that he needs a good cleaning up. She giggles, teasing that Captain Lee truly understands her as he smirks playfully, surrounded by his friends. She exclaims in surprise as something gets thrown, urging not to be so impatient. He grins widely, revealing sharp teeth, and comments that everyone looks good, expressing that they're all his type. He nervously looks at the two women in revealing dresses, one saying not to be afraid and she won't hurt him. He felt the tension as two women in revealing dresses rushed in, one exclaiming, "Oh no," while the other pushed forward, ready for action. He instructed the two women in revealing dresses to retreat, as he announced his intention to leave for sleep. He said it seems like he'll sleep until morning. One woman questioned what they should do, while the other mentioned they can't help him if he's asleep. He lay asleep while one woman cleaned him and the other watched. She questioned how long he would sleep and worried about their next steps. She gasped, exclaiming, "Oh no," as she nervously bit her finger, displaying a mix of surprise and concern. She sat worriedly, asking what was wrong, while the other watched, holding a tissue, concern evident on both faces. She commented on his restlessness even in sleep, while another noted they wouldn't be returning tonight. He felt an unexpected sting as someone slapped him, surprising him into silence. He exclaimed in surprise, asking who it was while holding his cheek. She expressed annoyance, questioning how much longer he intended to stay. She criticized his behavior, insisting he get up now, while he protested about her sudden change in attitude, recalling how she had called him bro Shuang earlier. She exclaimed that she had always been this way, demanding to know where he was touching and calling him a perverted pervert. He groaned in pain, saying his waist hurt and his legs felt weak. Fang Wen asked if he was all right. He stated he needed to report back soon, while the other man listened intently. He noted he would gather the urgently needed supplies and assured her he could deliver them in about 3 days. He remarked that delivering goods didn't match her talents, asking if she wanted to join him. The figure beside him saw great potential in her. He invited her to follow him, offering a quicker method to level up, promising his secret formula would help her break through bottlenecks faster. He warned Qin Shuang not to trust him, questioning why, if he had a secret recipe, he remained at the bottleneck stage. Qin Shuang asks Hao Junmei about a young man from last time, wondering where he is. He also implies that he hopes he isn't being used for alchemy. He looks at the device with confusion, questioning what it is. He explains that the device is a useful walkie-talkie for communication while stating their organization needs talents like him. He suggests dialing the device if he wants to join. He holds the walkie-talkie, saying he will see them later. He urgently explains that leader Qin Shuang has returned. He asks if the supplies were gathered quickly, while another warns to come out and take a look at what Qin Shuang brought. He notes there are 3 truckloads, indicating the overwhelming supply gathered. He recalls being drunk while asking for the supplies, yet the man still managed to bring them in 3 days. He approached Captain Lee, who gestured eagerly, declaring he had brought all the supplies requested. "Check them out," he urged. He noticed their impressive teamwork, with one declaring they had moved all the supplies, while another expressed surprise at the sheer quantity around them. He expressed excitement about becoming self-sufficient with seeds and fertilizers, while another agreed that with a good harvest, no one at the base would go hungry. One character asked Qin Shuang if he was a god, astonished by the high-quality supplies, while another expressed excitement, wondering where he sourced them. He confidently mentioned the food seeds, proposing she pays the agreed reward, assuring her he could supply as much as needed. He presented the promised reward to Qin Shuang, reassuring her with the word, "here." The atmosphere hinted at satisfaction and trust. He questioned the small amount, expressing frustration after bringing 3 truckloads of supplies, and asked if she needed him now. He called out, questioning if she understood the dark crystal's value, insisting they were far more valuable than the promised zombie core. He marveled at the dark crystal's potential, realizing its worth for charging skill points. It was a valuable item that could enhance their abilities significantly. He was amazed that such a small piece could charge 100 skill points, noting it was 50 times more valuable than a zombie core. This thing is truly incredible. He reminded the other about the gold he promised, urging him to come. He honestly told his companion that they found very little gold at their base after searching the storage room. He showed his companion the crate filled with gold bars, asking if it was sufficient. He shouted with delight, declaring it was enough, and gratefully thanked them. He asked Yunlin and Ruo Yu if they could bring him white rabbit candies, having finished them all at home, before mentioning he needed to go out soon. He realized the box was much heavier than the previous bag. He noticed the lid with graffiti and wondered about it. He examined the lid, questioning its printed appearance and the frame's origin. He noted a signature, curious if it was in English, and wondered aloud how to read it. He pondered the unusual name, curious about it, and found the drawing quite captivating. He suggested they hang the mirror on the wall as decoration. He admired the exquisite Picasso painting, noting the 200 million he spent was justified. Meanwhile, he mentioned a blind date arranged for Xiaoshui that evening. He urged Uncle Zhao to watch over her, insisting she shouldn't cause trouble. Uncle Zhao acknowledged with a simple, yes, in agreement. He suggested that they report Qin Shuang to the police, ensuring the issue regarding the 20 kilograms of gold exchanged would be resolved. He advised against calling the police, mentioning he authorized the bank for the exchange. He noted that the kid had connections for acquiring gold quickly. She thought her son-in-law must be someone quite capable, expressing her hopes while he stood beside her with an encouraging presence. He expressed uncertainty about the restaurant choice while she reassured him it's fine. He suggested taking her to his family's island for a few days, mentioning the beautiful scenery there. She firmly states she isn't interested, feeling impatient about the situation. He suggests traveling to new places since he knows a lot, but she declines, expressing disinterest in going anywhere. She tells Mr. Lee she was compelled to meet due to her father and has no desire for future contact. She tells Mr. Lee he is known as a playboy, asking him to spare her the niceties. She suggests they finish eating quickly. She firmly tells him goodbye, leaving him momentarily surprised in the elegant restaurant setting. He clicks his tongue in annoyance, calling her ungrateful as he sits in silence, his sharp gaze revealing his irritation. He acknowledges her presence, revealing that he knows about her dinner plans with a hint of intrigue. She asks him why he is present, her expression tense and questioning. She tells him to leave if he has nothing to say, asserting it's her house and warning him that she will call the police if he enters without permission. She warns him that if he continues to oppose her, he will scare away all the candidates from big families, putting him in a tough position. She confronts him, expressing frustration over being viewed as a mere tool for his advantage, emphasizing her love for someone else. He declares that the guy is too ordinary to make her happy. He refuses to hand over the family business, stating he'll die sooner or later, insisting on choosing a qualified successor. She asserts that her choice of whom to marry is her decision, recalling his ordinary past while he insists that only a qualified successor should inherit the family business. She warns that refusing to listen could lead to Qin Shuang's disappearance, urging him to obey for her future. She expresses her frustration, stating he wants to drive her to death. She accuses him of driving her mother to death, suggesting he wants her to follow suit. He glares intensely, responding sharply for her to be quiet. She angrily confronts him, accusing, "You drove me to this." Her emotions are intense, her fierce expression reflecting her frustration. In a heated moment, she is struck, startled by the sudden violence, feeling a rush of shock and anger. He finishes writing tomorrow's order list and remembers to add white rabbit creamy candy to it. He sits at his desk, startled by the doorbell ringing, wondering who could be at the door. He wonders who is at the door so late as he clicks it open. She looks surprised, asking, "Xiaoshui?" while adjusting her hair, her expression revealing an unexpected visit. He asks why she didn't answer his calls, mentioning he planned to visit her tomorrow, as she looks at him with anticipation. He assures her not to worry, stating it won't take long. He believes he can earn enough money to convince her dad to agree. He gently calls her Xiaoshui as they share a soft kiss, surrounded by sparkles of affection. He gently calls her Xiaoshui, while pausing as she touches his skin. He asks Xiaoshui what's wrong, noticing her odd expression. Concerned, he inquires if it involves her father. She urges him to forget everything else and focus on her, showing her concern with a worried expression. She tells Qin Shuang that just a few days apart make her miss him a lot and asks him to hold her tightly. He wonders if tonight might be the night he loses his virginity, especially with someone he truly likes. She asks him to help with her zipper, and he agrees, feeling nervous yet excited. She smiles and thanks him, radiating confidence and charm in her green dress. He admits that Xiaoshui's appearance and personality are exceptional. She mentions she's also a beginner and asks him to be gentle. His surprised agreement shows his nervousness and excitement in this moment. Qin Shuang, reflecting on his unsatisfactory life, believes everything changes today. He feels grateful for Xiaoshui, recognizing her as the kindest person in his life. He feels lucky that Xiaoshui appreciates an ordinary guy like him, declaring his resolve to protect her and ensure her happiness. He wakes up in confusion, surprised by a box and calling out for Xiaoshui. He reaches for a letter adorned with a heart, wondering if it's meant for him. He reads the letter, revealing Qin Shuang's wish to escape and the need to separate for their safety. She promises to return stronger to defeat her father while ensuring her love will remember her. He returns home, feeling depressed and exhausted, while two girls observe him with concern. Concerned, the two girls notice Qin Shuang's troubled expression and inquire, asking her what's wrong and if she couldn't find any supplies. Hearing his words, Qin Shuang and another girl show concern about his departure, reminding him to take care while leaving supplies behind. The girls question him about trading with merchants, recalling his urgent gold exchange earlier. He feels heartbroken and expresses his inability to care, stating that even gold has lost its value. He looks shocked, asking if she is heartbroken, while she appears concerned and worried. She looks troubled upon realizing that Qin Shuang has a girlfriend. He feels shocked, expressing disbelief that Qin Shuang has a girlfriend while questioning why she didn't say goodbye before leaving. He feels lost, expressing frustration that she even cancelled her phone number and that he doesn't know where to find her. He expresses sadness as he walks away, saying she's gone. She questions why he's making a fuss about their breakup while he suggests finding someone new. She snaps, telling him not to point that bread at her. He expresses his feelings about their breakup, stating he's not ready to find someone new. She expresses irritation, saying she isn't in the mood, while he attempts to grab her, but she angrily warns him about his hands. She suggests that his gesture with candy should improve his mood, while she playfully points out how he should behave. He exclaims about the size, noting her youthful appearance and mature physique. She angrily mentions Qin Shuang's unavailability, feeling frustrated and emotional as she wipes away tears, clearly distressed about the situation. He declares that time is up as she, surprised, asks if it's over so soon, feeling a rush of emotions. She anxiously asks what he means by so soon, realizing nearly a minute has passed. He sighs in frustration, realizing only a minute has passed and feeling unable to recover his mood at all. She approaches him, asking about something important, while he looks surprised and slightly confused. She suggests adding more time to her contribution, feeling it slightly inadequate. She asks if he can change to another part, feeling uncertain. She wonders aloud where he wants to switch, her expression curious and uncertain. He excitedly points and exclaims, "There," as a bright light bursts from his fingertip. He gazes at her in surprise, saying, "Huh," as she turns, unaware, revealing her confident posture. She asks if he is okay now, concern etched on her face. He remarks that only 30 seconds have passed, not even a minute yet. She expresses excitement while pleading with Qin Shuang to be gentle, revealing a mixture of anticipation and concern about the situation. This scene cannot be broadcast. The man questions the captain, showing concern about the dire necessity of their actions. The men discuss the extreme risk of unfreezing Yi Yi, fearing dire consequences if he awakens. He expressed concern that their base remains secure due to Yi Yi's reputation, but warned that if they don't extract his energy, wild dogs will overrun their joy base. He instructed someone to fetch Hao Junmei, stating he was prepared. He expresses concern, acknowledging her anger and questioning her recent experiences at the western end, wondering what could have triggered such a reaction. He reflects on the past, criticizing her indecisiveness for hindering their potential to expand. He expresses frustration over her inability to dominate the surrounding forces. She pleads, asking for his power to go forth as fragments of ice surround them. She winks, breathless, optimistic yet nervous, as she reminds Qin Shuang that their time is running out. He looks surprised as a pink backpack suddenly beeps loudly. She wonders what the sound is while her friend listens closely. He realizes it's the walkie-talkie Fang Wu had given him earlier. She anxiously urges him not to answer the call just yet. She warns him that answering the call could reveal their base's location. He decides to step outside before answering the call, concerned about revealing their base's location. He believes it's the right distance and stands ready on the edge, feeling the energy crackling around him. He connects the call and addresses Fang Wu, saying he hasn't decided about joining the organization yet. He tells Fang Wu he isn't calling about that, but needs help with something, assuring him they will compensate accordingly. He urgently conveys to Fang Wu that they have a problem and need his special abilities. He informs Fang Wu that their supplies are surrounded by a horde of zombies. He indicates that inside are also a dozen ordinary people. He urges everyone to hurry over quickly, promising to meet at the intersection of XX Street and XX Street in the city's east. He points out the east of the city, indicating a location, while standing amidst the towering buildings. In desperation, he pleaded for help, fearing death, while others sat helplessly, realizing they were out of bullets. He reassured them about rescue from the base, despite the tense atmosphere, as repeated bangs echoed nearby. He stumbled, exclaiming his near escape as a vehicle rushed by, creating a tense moment of urgency on the deserted road. He anxiously wondered if he had reached the intersection, questioning why it felt so deserted. She scolded, saying the kid Fang Wu found was incredibly careless. One character advises Sister Shi not to dismiss Fang Wu as inexperienced, emphasizing his potential usefulness. Another character adds, showing confidence in their judgment. She declares they will see if he can handle the task soon. Another character urges, follow us. One character expresses surprise at finding ample medical supplies, while the other confidently remarks that the city lord will be very pleased upon their return. One character questions if he will get the Chief Justice position upon their return, while the other casually insists he is simply doing his job. He warns the captain, sensing danger, and mentions red zombies. He shouts to shoot while others panic, exclaiming they can't hit the red zombies on the truck. He shouts for them to shoot, urging not to miss the target as panic sets in with a surprised scream. He exclaims it's finally dead, relieved they have the vice captain. Suddenly, he realizes a zombie has damaged the car's fuel tanks. He assures them it's fine to transfer the goods to another car for space, encouraging teamwork as they rush to return to the Earth Alliance by the next night. He warns his team about a horde of corpses nearby, shouting that they are only 800 meters away, urging immediate action. He urges his teammates to load medical supplies into the car quickly, aware that fuel tanks remain on the other vehicles. He insists there's no time to waste, knowing they'll die if they crash into the horde, advising everyone to focus on the car. He informs the captain that they are nearly out of gas, suggesting they stop the car. He asks how far their car can go with the remaining fuel, revealing his can travel about 10 kilometers, while another can manage 15. He acknowledges everyone's exhaustion after days without rest but insists they can't slow down, stating they still have 30 kilometers to the Alliance and must find gasoline. He mentions that there should be gasoline 5 kilometers in the other direction, instructing the vice captain to gather a small team for fuel, while he will retrieve their supplies. He believes the gasoline they found should be sufficient. He smiles, encouraging everyone to hurry and catch up with the main group. He yells in fear as the creature snaps its jaws, terror engulfing the group. He shouts for Xiaohe to run, but another warns it's too late, revealing the horror that someone has already been bitten to death. He and another man shout, urging others to follow them as they run through the chaotic streets, where shadows loom ominously. He urged everyone to run upstairs, warning not to shoot or attract more zombies, insisting he would go first and cover the rear. He gasped, realizing they were out of bullets. Everyone took a breather, hoping no more zombies could get inside. He begged for help, fearful of dying, while they realized they were out of bullets as bangs echoed around them. He reassured them not to worry, stating the base promised help had already been dispatched while bangs echoed around them. Fang Wen instructed Rock and Hat to lure the horde south, while the others listened intently, strategizing their next move. Rock asked, "What about me?" Fang Wen replied that once the horde dispersed, they would proceed to rescue the others. He urged everyone to adhere to the strategy as they moved out toward the horde. He declared that the endless horizon was his true love, commanding to fire at will. Meanwhile, vibrant flowers bloomed under the lush green hills. He called out to sweethearts to keep dancing, asking what rhythm made them move most and which melody brought them joy. Zombies rejoiced in the wild atmosphere. He noted that the horde had been diverted and suggested they move. He exclaimed in surprise at the numerous zombies still present, questioning their persistence, while another suggested they might be deaf from too much earwax. He decided to hold off the zombies while insisting the others should escape, noting the door was locked after a loud bang. He urged people inside to open the door quickly for their rescue. He questioned if there were really a dozen people, glancing toward the others and preparing to walk out. He questioned why she was the only one present, his expression serious and contemplative. He sighed in relief, realizing how close he had come to danger, admitting that being bait was truly risky. He asked in confusion why only one person was present, wondering where the others were. He recounted how, during a supply run, they were ambushed, revealing that he was the sole survivor while everyone else perished in the zombie attack. He expressed frustration, stating that if they had known earlier, they could have better organized their resources to assist her, rather than deploying so many people. He explained that they had sent a small team 5 miles to find gasoline. They got trapped by zombies too, and he hoped she could help rescue them. He expressed concern that the city lord only financed supplies for one rescue operation, emphasizing that another would require additional payment. He urgently expressed that if no one intervened, the victims would perish. He pleaded, offering to pay the necessary costs from his own funds. He declared his intention to rescue the victims, but others questioned him, expressing confusion over his decision, as they never agreed to it. He asked Fang Wu if he didn't promise to pay him, stating that rescuing them was the reward he wanted. He expressed uncertainty about whether Fang Wu was intelligent or worthless. He acknowledged the challenge of covering the cost and declared they should go save them. He questioned his friend's decision to agree, warning that each rescue mission carries risks, but his friend reassured, signaling acceptance. He exclaimed in shock about the sudden appearance of numerous red zombies. He smashed down with fierce determination, shattering the ground beneath him. He noted the unusual appearance of numerous red zombies, urging everyone to conserve energy and flee to the car during the intervals. He realized they couldn't descend, noticing their car was surrounded by zombies. He was shocked, questioning how this could happen and wondering if they had lured the zombies away instead. She acknowledged the zombies' return, noting they seemed significantly more numerous than before. He urged her not to panic, assuring her that the lower-level zombies wouldn't rise again. He suggested they handle the red zombies first. He asked if it was finally over, panting heavily, while his companions mirrored his exhaustion amidst the defeated zombies. He confirmed they were all dead and stated they needed to find a way to escape the sea of zombies downstairs. He shouted in panic about zombies climbing up, recalling the giant monster from earlier encounters. He shouted in disbelief, questioning how giant zombies could appear in groups, exclaiming he had never seen anything like this before. He expressed despair, believing they were hopelessly doomed, while another calculated the number, revealing there were 6 of the giants in total. She thought it was unusual, noting the appearance of 6 level 3 giant zombies, then explained their situation was like a war of attrition. He expressed concern about the situation with the zombies, realizing it was desperate. He realized the zombies possess intelligence and planned an ambush to encircle and trap their foes. He gulped as he faced the advancing zombies, realizing they were grouping together like an army. He whispered about the situation, realizing that the only option seems to be hidden under his blue hat and sunglasses. He asked what that was, his expression curious and concerned. He pointed and exclaimed for others to look in that direction, as they gazed at the mysterious, foggy cityscape. He wondered if something was coiled around that building. He adjusted his sunglasses, feeling a sense of foreboding about the situation, thinking it was bad. In the early viral outbreak, studies revealed the Zombie King, a product of mutation and human agony, with terrifying abilities. He urged to run, claiming there was still time left. He warned them that a level 3 Zombie King approached, urging them to escape quickly. He exclaimed in disbelief at the Zombie King's speed, urging her to escape as he prepared to face the threat. He shouted in panic, insisting they couldn't leave her alone as creatures swarmed upwards. He urgently asked Qin Shuang if her ability could help him jump to the opposite building, hoping to escape the danger. He confidently said he could help but could only take one person at a time, otherwise it would be too heavy. He then asked, "Who's first?" He expressed trust, indicating he would step forward first, while another reassured him with a simple, "All right." He held on tightly, bracing for impact while another urged him to stay close as electricity surged around them. He cringed in discomfort, shouting about the noise while another complained that his head hurt from the overwhelming sound. He clenched his fist in frustration, realizing he couldn't use his skills. He panicked, realizing everyone couldn't use their powers. Determined, he insisted they needed to come up with a solution quickly. He commanded the system to utilize the Doom Bullet, ready to take decisive action. He cursed in frustration, realizing they were out of range for the Doom Bullet's effective fire. He exclaimed Fang Wu's name, while the figure with a skull face attacked, blood splattering ominously around them. He asserted there was only one way left, urging the system to use all his dark crystals and zombie cores for an upgrade. He warned that the upgrade might fail, urging the character to upgrade everything for him while another character kneels in the background. He screamed as the upgrade began, exclaiming that his stats were now full, while another character clutched him tightly. He gasped as the upgrade started, realizing his stats were full, while the notifications warned of failed evolution attempts. He was surprised to receive notifications confirming successful evolution, acknowledging his stats were full while revealing the failed attempts at evolution in retrying. She shouted at him to move aside, insisting she didn't need his protection as blood splattered around them. He cursed the system for failing him while urging it to hurry up. He received a notification about completing his evolution to level 4 and acquired a new skill, Clear Mind, enhancing his concentration significantly. He reflected on his newfound calmness, realizing he understood energy gathering now. He desperately cried for help, fearing death, and expressed his longing to date more pretty girls. He fervently wished for strength, pleading for a chance to express his love while facing a monstrous threat that roared fiercely, urging Fang Wu to escape. He gasped in shock, exclaiming that he hadn't died and questioning what was happening as he looked at the fallen figure. He remarked that his head was tough and questioned if Qin Shuang had saved them. He noted the ominous presence of the monstrous figures, their jagged features highlighted by the eerie glow. The atmosphere was filled with tension as cracks echoed around them. He questioned how these ordinary zombies could jump so high while noting they were also much faster now. He learned about the Zombie King's ability called Rampage, which allowed ordinary zombies to mutate and enhance their skills briefly before they explode. She warned everyone to be careful and prepare for battle. He asked what was happening, his face marked with scratches and anxiety. He noted that they had just passed by, standing alone against menacing figures. He realized that the menacing force was heading straight for Qin Shuang, worry etched on his determined face. He called out to Qin Shuang, concern evident in his expression. He sighed in relief, recalling the terrifying swarm of zombies that almost overwhelmed him, expressing how close he came to losing control. He was astonished, questioning Qin Shuang about her newfound strength and linking it to her super speed after a recent explosion. He noticed earlier that Qin Shuang had become a level 4 evolver, acknowledging her newfound strength. He confidently stated that his special ability isn't super speed, but a skill assigned by the system, energy gathering. Qin Shuang, a level 4 perfect evolver, demonstrated his unique ability, gathering energy for a powerful burst, showcasing his immense potential. Qin Shuang, shocked, questioned how someone could be a level 4 evolver, while the other acknowledged his former level 1 status. He urged his friends to stop discussing it and escape immediately, while sweat ran down his face, showcasing his worry about the situation. She urged him to wear the hat, insisting they would stay to assist. He expressed concern for her safety, stating he'd be distracted. Meanwhile, he focused on using all his skill points to dig for zombie cores. He claimed to have a top-secret escape plan, ensuring he wouldn't die, but warned it could only take him away. If things got bad, he decided to use his skill points to shift dimensions. He insisted that staying would only hinder them, urging everyone to leave immediately. A building erupts in flames as destruction unfolds above it. He witnesses the chaos, feeling the shock pulse through his entire being. He reflects on the 2-hour zombie assault, feeling more energized. Grateful for his increased stamina, he remains ready for the ongoing battle. He thinks Fang Wen and the others are far enough away now. He realizes he has wasted his energy stalling the minions to prevent Fang Wen's group from advancing. He smirks while taunting Fang Wen, asserting his control over the low-level zombies. He challenges Fang to test their strength in combat. He realizes with surprise that the creature can understand him, raising a question about its emotions. He was shocked, realizing the creature had destroyed the building with one strike, thinking it would have been dangerous if he hadn't dodged. He felt thrilled, thinking this creature was incredibly fast, pondering whether he should just run. He realized this monster was only a level 3 juvenile and warned that even gods wouldn't defeat it. He quickly decided to handle this zombie king sapling early. He focused on simulating a water blade, recalling that even Fang Wu couldn't block its damage, contemplating adding his still water skill. He exclaimed in joy that it was successful, his excitement shining through as bright sparks surrounded him. He shouted urgently for someone to cover it up as strange energy radiated from the containment chamber, causing concern. He revealed he used all his special extraction liquid, laughing sinisterly, and predicted Yi Yi's dark energy would be extracted in 3 days. He questioned if that was sufficient. The man assured him he had succeeded multiple times before, but it was his first high-level extraction, advising patience for 3 days. He announced he would transfer all of Yi Yi's dark energy into the man's body in 3 days. He held the radio tightly, its sound echoing ominously as urgency filled the air. He said they had already rescued everyone, holding radios tightly. He explained that the zombie king possibly sent many zombies to attack them, while his teammates listened intently, preparing for what lay ahead. He expressed concern about his teammates potentially being hurt and was surprised they managed to rescue everyone so quickly. He reassured his teammate about their injuries, commenting on the heavy load of medical supplies while noting the poison was almost fully neutralized. He suggested avoiding the topic of themselves and inquired about the current situation. He mentioned that if someone had time to chat, it meant that everything was under control. He reassured, stating everything was fine on his end. He suggested finding a place to meet while holding glowing energy in his hand, ready for action. He realized he had exhausted all his skill points and needed to find more zombie cores to recharge, holding a glowing orb of energy. He didn't anticipate finding this orb with 10,000 skill points, exclaiming it was awesome while laughing. She questioned the direction, noting the Great Earth Alliance seemed wrong. He explained the route is used mainly for delivering supplies and, though it's a detour, it has fewer zombies, making it relatively safer. He smirked, feeling confident, and remarked that they finally arrived. He coughed, warning everyone to get down while smoke surrounded him. He warned that burns won't harm him, but the explosion's fragments could be dangerous. Despite the chaos, he remained focused and resolute. He apologized repeatedly, expressing regret, while his companions stated they had no other option. A group of 5 stood determined, ready for what lay ahead. He grinned, stating that capturing 4 individuals was tough. He then suggested that if they could defeat them all at once, they could avoid a fight. He said capturing them was possible because of her help. He suggested returning to Camp 17. She wondered if he was asleep while the other asked whether he had defeated the level 3 zombie king. She insisted it was too risky to leave him here. He exclaimed in frustration, wondering if he could get some sleep, while she annoyedly questioned why he was being so bothersome. As the girls laughed joyfully, one shouted to the other to run, leaving a puzzled boy behind wondering what was happening. He wondered aloud, "Where is this place?" as he sat confused on the bed, clutching the blanket tightly. He sat on the bed, bewildered, thinking about his 10-day sleep, and questioned where Fang Wu and the others were, eager to contact them. She explained that communication devices, like the walkie-talkie, were confiscated and not permitted for use inside the base. He demanded the walkie-talkie, stating he would reach out after leaving the base. She questioned whether he was truly leaving after their close call, expressing her hurt and disappointment about his treatment of her as a lifesaver. He apologized, saying he forgot and needed to repay her kindness, asking if she needed supplies and offering to send as much as she required. She expressed gratitude for his generosity, but noted their current needs were more pressing. She stated that they needed strong individuals and their association had a favor to request. She urged him to be direct, feeling an overwhelming presence, while he expressed concern for his friend's safety, fearing they would be worried. She assured him that someone would accompany him out of the base, suggesting he could use the walkie-talkie to reach his friends. He wondered why nobody was responding, while she speculated they might be using their walkie-talkies. She suggested returning to the association, noting the leader awaited them. He thought to himself that he wouldn't be able to leave anytime soon, while she stood beside him. He asked where she was leading him, questioning if they were not meant to meet the leader. She mentioned wanting to speak earlier and suggested he should clean up a bit before meeting the leader. She pointed out his body odor, indicating he hadn't showered in over 10 days. Surprised, he questioned if it was that noticeable. She apologized sincerely and insisted he should bathe first, handing him a tray with a scrubbing glove and toothbrush, urging him to clean himself well. She pointed to the left, indicating the bathhouse, telling him she'd wait until he was finished. He replied simply, acknowledging her with an "oh." He wondered if he really smelled that bad while removing his shirt, asserting he couldn't smell anything. He noticed her walking away, contemplating if he should remove his shirt as she suggested. He questioned in surprise, "A girl?" while pulling his shirt over his head. He apologized, saying he had arrived at the wrong location, while raising his hand in a gesture of regret. He sang joyfully about his love for bathing, feeling refreshed afterward. He felt overwhelmed by everything happening, realizing he needed to stay busy. He thinks focusing on making money is the best plan. He believes helping the climbers this time could lead to a new trading partner. He decides it's time to dive in, feeling excited and refreshed. She finds it hilarious, prompting the others to suggest washing together. He looks puzzled, sweat dripping as he sees others suggesting to wash together. He felt uneasy as everyone splashed water playfully, surrounding him. As she laughed, she playfully scolded another for calling her small, only to receive a light smack in return. Surprised and confused, he wondered what was happening around him. He was confused, questioning why everyone around him was female and what was happening in this unfamiliar setting. She stepped out, water glistening on her skin, feeling exposed. He thought he was unnoticed, feeling concealed under the water as she passed by, unaware of his presence. He thought nobody had seen him as he contemplated sneaking out, feeling the urgency of his situation. He nervously reached out, but she commanded him to sit down, surprising him with a sudden smack. She exclaimed that the water was scorching, while he disagreed, insisting it wasn't hot at all. She urged him to stop hesitating and get in the water, while he playfully protested against being pulled. The atmosphere was light and playful. She called out to her team, urging everyone to look over where she was standing, ready to reveal something important. She expressed gratitude for the mission's success due to their training, emphasizing that bravery will enhance their strength, and suggested honesty while bathing. She suggested a bold idea, a naked fight to test skills, challenging everyone to see their ability to handle surprises. She heard a loud bang and turned, surprised at the sudden noise, her companion looking equally startled. She felt a mix of fear and surprise as a shadow loomed behind them, while the girl beside her nervously chuckled, echoing her unease. She proudly declared she had locked the door, holding the key close. He ominously stated that to escape, only the last winner would obtain the key. He announced ominously that they had 3 minutes to find a partner. He stood surprised as both girls approached him, one playfully asking what he was doing, while the other eagerly offered to team up with the captain. One girl claimed she was first, while another excitedly suggested teaming up with the captain, ensuring they would take down their targets together. She called out that 3 minutes were up and asked if everyone had found a partner. He cried out, overwhelmed with sadness, that he hadn't found a partner. Overwhelmed, she complained about not being chosen for a team, exclaiming it was unfair. She felt excluded and weak, yearning for a chance to participate. He questioned if someone else was feeling isolated, expressing concern for the overlooked. He pointed towards a girl in the corner, urging others to join her. Shadows loomed, creating a mysterious atmosphere in the dimly lit spa. She turned, curious and slightly surprised, as he asked if she was the one being called. She looked puzzled, questioning who the unfamiliar girl might be, while another character warned the captain that she wasn't part of their team. She called to the lady, inviting her to help balance the numbers, while another character responded with a nervous okay. He announces the duel's start, reminding everyone to refrain from using special abilities during the contest. In a tense moment, one girl struggles as the other maintains a tight grip, determined to win. Crack! The sound echoes, hinting at the intensity of their conflict. With a loud bam, the gray-haired girl gasps as she struggles, caught in a fierce hold by her determined opponent. She declares her long-standing dislike for her opponent, both fiercely determined. She wonders why they are considered weak and dealt with last. She cries out in frustration, feeling the pressure as he insists she give up. She admires the captain's strength, expressing her delight at being on his team, while 2 others react with annoyance. She notes that almost everyone is down, observing only 3 groups remain. She calls out to the vice captain, looking serious and concerned, sweat evident on her forehead. She questions which group he wants to fight, while another asks if he even needs to inquire. She takes hold of him tightly, asking about their opponent while he sweats, feeling the intensity of the situation. She yells for him to dodge as she delivers an elbow strike, while another character, captured mid-action, grips her tightly, ready for a counter move. He performs a shoulder throw, slamming his opponent onto the ground with a thud. He finds the performance remarkable, admiring the impressive show with determination. She admits her loss, while another comments on Xiaohui's newfound strength, stating that if she had pushed harder, she would have fainted. She exhales in relief, feeling the weight of her situation. Shadows of doubt linger as her anxious expression reveals her internal struggle. She explains that only 2 people remain, and defeating them will make him the final winner. She groans, struggling with her task, while her sister encourages her to go first. She raises her hand and admits defeat, while her sister looks on with surprise. She scolds her big sister for giving up without trying. He cheerfully insists he can't fight and doesn't know how. She declares she will go alone, while another insists on joining, boasting about newly learned moves. She sobbed on the floor, feeling defeated, as she lamented that the vice captain was bullying people. She told Tenji that she needed to practice more, while Tenji curled up in pain, exclaiming that it hurt. They celebrated their escape from the changing room, exclaiming, "Freedom," as they joyfully spread their arms. After a tough fight, he suggested they go eat, while the 2 girls, both wrapped in towels, expressed their own hunger. She confronted him, asking if he had let her win on purpose. Her intense gaze and slightly bruised face showed her determination. He questioned her, confused by her accusation, saying he hadn't allowed anything. He reassuringly told Xiaohui that she had grown stronger, but she still needed to believe in herself, reminding her that everyone had high hopes for her. He decided to wait for others to leave before going, while she complained about her pain. She noticed, with concern, that a thread was loose. He pulled the fabric with determination, signaling a critical moment. He stood surprised in a towel, noticing something had fallen off, while she looked on with shock. He gasped in shock, covering himself with his hand, feeling vulnerable amid the swirling water, while a flower floated nearby. Intrigued, she stared with wide eyes, her expression a mix of curiosity and surprise, captivated by the unexpected situation before her. She called out, filled with urgency, "Captain." Her expression revealed a mix of desperation and determination. She expressed her annoyance as her friend awkwardly struggled to push another friend in the background, while he remained unimpressed. He heard someone call out, while she dismissed it, suggesting they go eat. He urged her to be quiet, explaining he hadn't meant to enter like this. He expressed his annoyance, warning her that if she continued to cause trouble, she would face consequences. He angrily warned the other character that if they knew what was good for them, they better listen. He urged her to listen, clearly concerned about something, while she appeared uneasy and reluctant. He insisted he wasn't a pervert, while she looked puzzled and anxious as he began to explain what really happened. She asked her sister where she was headed, worried about the lack of news from Qin Shuang for 3 days. She expressed concern, warning that anyone could act recklessly. She decided to accompany him, determined to stay safe together. She asked if the Joy Base might know where Qin Shuang was, while her friend pondered the situation, recalling that the Joy Base hadn't returned any information. She suggested that even if Joy didn't know Qin Shuang's whereabouts, they could ask for Fang Wu's contact information. She expressed surprise, mentioning that she heard the young lady was looking for Qin Shuang. He expressed his frustration, stating he truly didn't know where Qin Shuang was. He expressed concern for Qin Shuang's safety, stating it's crucial as he's a key supplier for their base. He promised to send a team to find her. She expressed gratitude, saying thank you very much, while another character listened silently, creating a moment of connection between them. She asked Ruo Yu what was wrong, noticing he seemed a bit off. She felt uneasy, noticing the captain seemed different from their previous meeting. He suggested they obtain Fang Wu's contact information and depart. She expressed frustration about being locked up for a week, mentioning they only received food and nothing more, demanding to know what was wanted from them. She remarked that Stone remained as hot-tempered as ever, emphasizing his fiery nature. She expressed frustration, reminding everyone how often she said to remain calm and think during tough situations. He cheerfully greeted his boss, shocked to see him present. He urged her to run as the sentry turned away. He questioned Captain Lee about letting the two girls go freely. He expressed concern about the situation, stating he didn't want anything to happen to Qin Shuang. He noted that his partner is essential for supplies and offers freedom from the Earth Alliance. He had secretly ordered his men to follow them, instructing that any situations should be reported to him. She urged her sister to rest after driving all night, while her sister replied softly with a non-committal sound. She delightedly exclaimed that the instant noodle was incredibly tasty, while her friend agreed and noted that without Qin Shuang, they wouldn't know of so many delicious things. She asked her sister about her true feelings for Qin Shuang, curious if she liked him. She felt clueless about her situation, finding safety with Qin Shuang, grateful for not risking her life for food and beginning to unwind with him. She worried about the lack of news, fearing he was in danger, while speculating that he might have grown tired of them and left on his own. She resolved that regardless of circumstances, she still wanted to see him once more. Ruo Yu questioned why there was a sudden change in attitude, recalling her earlier threat to kill Qin Shuang. The tension in the air was palpable. Ruo Yu hesitated, contemplating her thoughts about Qin Shuang, wondering if he truly wasn't so bad after all. Ruo Yu playfully advised Qin Shuang to be nicer when he finds someone, while she teased a reluctant girl who exclaimed in surprise, rejecting the idea. Ruo Yu mentioned that Qin Shuang admires her, while teasingly asking if she knows she's cute. The girl, unsure, questioned her cuteness in response. Ruo Yu asked how the machinery was doing and if it could be repaired, showing concern in her tone. Ruo Yu expressed her worries, stating the part was entirely worn out, while also noting that they lacked new parts and needed to check other cars for replacements. Ruo Yu complained about the car, noting it always fails when needed, while another character insisted it was her favorite and opposed getting a new one. Ruo Yu asked if the car had the feature, but the other character informed her it was a different model. Feeling the heat, Ruo Yu suggested they walk instead. The other character admired the detailed craftsmanship and eagerly offered something to her. Ruo Yu warned that someone was approaching, alerting her companion. A man leaning out of a vehicle reassures the women, saying he's not a robber and casually asks where they are going. He smiles, saying she's heading to find Fang Wu, whom he knows, and adds that Fang Wu and his group aren't home, as he's just about to pick them up. He urges her to get in, promising to take her to see him. He warns her that entering a stranger's car is unwise. He points out that the man has a photo with Fang Wu's group. She confirms she's seen those people but doubts he's trustworthy. He assures that if the man lies, they will kill him, while praising his sister's idea for finally solving the issue. He angrily questions when the guy will arrive, expressing frustration for waiting all day, while the scene is set in the 17th faction, East District. He expresses frustration, questioning the second-in-command's arrival while others react with disbelief, emphasizing it is already afternoon. He tells Blue to chill, emphasizing patience for a good deal, while another character threatens to dye his hair green. He informs his friends that they are nearly at the 17th faction and assures them he will join them after picking up Fang Wu and the others. He casually acknowledges his friend, saying that if he doesn't arrive by tomorrow, they shouldn't wait any longer. He excitedly announces that Shi Sao has arrived, looking eager to see the boss. He apologizes for being late, explaining that traffic delayed him as he enters the cafe, flanked by two friends wearing hoodies. He laughs, assuring everyone that there's no need to worry, expressing their happiness about the character's arrival. He gestures warmly, inviting others to eat and talk, while urging them to skip formalities. He confronts the others, stating they captured his people, expressing reluctance to dine with them. He urges the others to speak quickly, admitting his patience is running thin. He boldly states his need for support from their organization, regardless of the cost, revealing the stakes of a faction's takeover. Ruo Yu expresses concern about waiting at the original spot, questioning if Fang Wu and his group will find them. She suggests hiding somewhere high to spot them. He commands them to stop right there, standing confidently against the wall. He states that the high ground is the sentry point of Faction 17, warning that if she goes further, he cannot guarantee her safety. She realizes he is from J04, shocked that he has been following them all along. Shi Sao nervously asks his boss how he ended up there and what happened to the people from Faction 17, revealing his concern about possibly defecting. He confidently suggests they leave quickly, mentioning two girls waiting outside the camp for them. He recognizes the approaching truck and exclaims that it's them. The two girls stand in the shadows, tense and alert. He identifies Fang Wu and his group, correcting the misunderstanding about a tractor being an electric tricycle. They wonder when the boss will make replacements. She wonders if something serious happened to Qin Shuang. He believes Qin Shuang can protect himself easily and recalls that Qin Shuang promised he would come to find them before they were captured. Determined, he states he and Fang Wen will help find Qin Shuang, suggesting they search the Corpse King's emergence area for clues. He examines the area, noting that the corpse must have been killed by Qin Shuang 10 days earlier. He reflects on the shocking reality, finding it hard to believe Qin Shuang defeated a level 3 Corpse King alone. She questions whether Qin Shuang truly defeated a level 3 zombie, doubting his strength. He notes that Qin Shuang's strength is not the same as before, but rather has increased at a frightening pace, like a monster. She mentions her intention to search for a while. Qin Shuang left his handprint on the bloodstain as he collapsed. He concluded that 2 people likely caused the collapse, probably women or children, noting the unique climbing shoe prints left behind. He observed the drag marks, realizing they indicated that Qin Shuang had been taken away by them. She acknowledged with determination, showing signs of nervousness and sweat on her brow. She revealed there was over a 70% chance that Qin Shuang had been captured by the Climber's Aid 10 days prior. He thought that if it was the Climber's Aid, then Qin Shuang should be safe, as the aid groups didn't harm innocents. He checked the walkie-talkie, worried about Qin Shuang's fate. A friend mentioned that all members of the Climber's Aid were beautiful, hinting at his concern. He expressed his hunger, asking if they could take a break to eat after traveling for so long. He agreed they needed a break amidst the towering buildings. He noticed several steaming ramen cups with forks beside them, hinting at a shared meal. She asked her sister if 3 minutes had passed, while he walked away, seemingly impatient. Another girl urged her to hold on a bit longer. He asked if she was there to pee too, while the other character simply responded with a sound of agreement. He noted that Captain Li effectively manages situations, even arranging protection for Qin Shuang's companion. He offered a joke about a discount for future help, while she humorously announced she was done peeing. He explained his ability, silence, which causes evolved opponents to lose their skills and mobility within its realm. Wu Yang was instructed to protect 2 girls and help them find Fang Wen's group safely. Yi Yi, ALEVEL7 Evolver, was easily trapped since Fang Wen's ability negated his water attribute. He believes only that kid can threaten him now that he possesses Yi Yi's power. He instructs to meet Fang Wen and find a chance to bring him back. He thinks Fang Wen has great potential and may be useful to them. He feels amusement while she giggles silently, a sinister atmosphere surrounds them. He wonders aloud why no one is answering, while she stands nearby, contemplating the possibility that they switched radios or might be off network. He suggests returning to the association first, while she notes that the leader is still waiting for them. She smiles, nervously asking if he actually found Mr. Qin Shuang in the women's bath. He stands awkwardly, bound and labeled as a pervert, while she nervously confirms he is indeed Mr. Qin Shuang. She recalls how he bribed her with a precious lollipop, urging her to keep quiet, but she vows not to let it weaken her resolve.